gave me a chance, I would take
They
it.
played that a lot.
It's a
It's a
shot
shot
in the
in the
dark, but
dark,
I'll
but I'll
make it.
take. Oh,
Know with all of your heart, you can't
you can't
change me.
change me
When I
when
am
I
with
am
you,
with
there's
you.
no
There's no
place I'd
place I'd
rather
rather be. No
be.
place I'd rather be.
The B earring.
Who sings that?
Jess Glynne.
Oh, one hit wonder, I guess. Who's that?
Lies and deception. She is not. She,
Denial is a river. Go ahead.
she
Who
has an
is it?
amazing album.
Oh, really? That's the only song I wait. Tell me another hit.
Cause I ain't got far to go. I've spent forever
Eh,
wait.
no. Try
Wait.
again.
I mean, she hasn't had a song in a minute, but I would love her
So, like I
album.
said, one hit
Oh,
wonder,
okay, wait.
implying one hit.
I'll be there. Da-da-na-na-na-na-na, take you there. I'll be there.
You know what?
Um,
You know what's gonna help us determine this?
what?
If the "No Place I'd Rather Be" has like a million listens, and her next song only has one, then that's how we know it's
She
a
has
flop.
some
And I was
song.
right.
She has
Wait, hold on.
a song with Macklemore called These Days. I don't know how it goes.
Oh yeah, that one does well. What's the one? I'll wait.
Well,
What's the one we were just
technically, it's
singing?
Clean Bandit, but she sings. But Clean Bandit does, I guess, the music.
Oh, it's a remix of her music. That
Not
is
a remix. It's
a mix.
you know how Zed will always have someone singing on his songs?
I thought he would take songs and then tweak them. Am
I
I
think
wrong?
sometimes, but you know, like the middle, baby, why don't you just meet me in the
Mm-hmm.
middle? And they had like
Mm-hmm.
Maren Morris randomly sang it.
Oh, so it doesn't count.
It does count. So, Jess Glynne, everyone listened to her album from 2014 called I Cry When I Laugh.
2014.
She's had
I'm about to
albums since.
pass
I
out.
haven't listened. She apparently has a self-titled album that came out April
Oh, Jess.
26th of 2024.
You said,
I'll give it a listen. She has a great voice. Saddest Vanilla featuring Emily Sandé is an
am I
amazingly
doing her
sad
pose
song.
well?
Let me see. Wait, let me hold it up.
Jess.
Hold it up for the people. Is Maggie her? YouTube
She
answer.
is me. I am her.
And I am her. Um,
Okay, Jess Glynn, I'm sorry for disrespecting you. The thing is, I don't know much about a lot of people, only a
this
few.
is true. Did you notice my new bee earrings? And I pointed to them when I said rather be.
No,
They're kind of smaller than I thought they'd be. I bought them
they're
online.
microscopic, Brandon. I can't. Oh, hold on. Let me make you bigger. View, speaker. Oh, it is a little bee. You're so
Yeah.
stylish, Brandon.
Stop. Hey y'all. Welcome to the
Hey,
Shade of It
y'all.
All. I'm Brandon.
I'm Magdala.
And today we are here to talk about what is near and what is dear to our hearts. Love Island USA season 2.
Love Island USA season 2.
Yes, we're going over what episodes are we going over today? We're almost at the end of our rewatch.
26, 27, and 28.
Yes, but there's some new stuff popping up.
Yeah,
We might
y'all.
be covering. We might be taking an intermission,
We might be. We
but
have
we'll
hit a
return.
metaphorical fork in the road.
We have.
We're not sure what to do yet.
We're debating. We want to do a
Very
poll.
politely.
Very politely debating.
We do want to do a poll.
Because here's the thing, y'all. By the time this episode drops, I either this will drop either the day before or the day of. Love is Blind in
Hmm.
their stupid, stupid schedule.
Oh
But
my
see, you know,
gosh.
I want to put something out there though. Netflix, give us screeners. That would be so nice if we got early access to episodes. We could
Oh,
plan ahead.
absolutely.
That would be
You
amazing. We could have had it already
just
filmed and
just give me
recorded.
two in advance. Fuck.
Right.
This is a heavy lift.
Love
They
is
dropped
Blind's
six
like,
episodes,
yeah,
then
here's six
three.
episodes. There you go. It's like what? And
Oh, is it like a is there a reason? Is it a triangle? If you
this
do
isn't
one,
geometry.
six.
This is reality.
Isn't that called something where it's six, then three, then two, then one? No,
Pythagorean
two throws it
theorem?
off. Six, three, and one. Those are all multiples, but six, three, two, and one. Oh, they're all multiples of six.
No.
But it's season seven. Yeah. Six, three, two, and one are all multiples or factors. Factors of six.
I mean, I guess.
Because one times six is six. Two times three is
But
six.
why does it's
I
season
thought it
seven,
was a
like you said?
pattern, but it's season seven, yeah.
I
I
do
thought there's
wonder
no method to the madness.
well, I think because they try to get, I guess, the pods all in one. But I'm like, you can break it up.
There's no reason why
It's
you can't break
fine.
that shit up. Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if y'all, well, I do know y'all didn't listen, but we did cover season 6.
Before we met most of you, our first ever series that we covered was Love Island season 6 with Jimmy and Jessica and Chelsea, otherwise known as Natalie Nunn, or possibly, oh fuck, who was the
Megan
other person?
Fox.
Megan
Or
Fox.
if you're watching Love Island USA season 2, I would argue Caitlin, the first one who left the villa.
Yeah,
So
she was kind of on there.
she
So
was
that
in
was the first
she was
show
on the
we
family
covered.
tree.
She was. She's she's in the discography. She's in there.
She's Jess.
So
Oh,
we're trying to figure out what we want to do next because Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is really interesting.
it is. We've been meaning to watch. We know we
Mm-hmm.
want to do it, and like at some point at least, we've gotten
Yes,
requested.
it
Someone
has been
wrote an Apple
requested.
review. It was requested.
Two people.
Two people. So it's like, do we do do we sandwich in Secret Lives and start this week and then finish out Love Island as
Mm-hmm.
well? Or do we add Secret Lives, take a break from Love Island, and try to be topical with Love is Blind?
We're not sure.
This is
We're
the
cool with
dilemma.
either path. But there's no way we can watch Love Island and Mormon Wives at the same time.
Or you mean
We
Love is
would
Blind?
Love
Wait.
is Blind and Mormon Wives. And honestly, and Love Island, because we do want to finish it. We only have 6 episodes left. We're doing 3 today. We can do 3 and 3. But
Mm-hmm.
to do Mormon Wives and Love is Blind would be damn near impossible.
It
Because
yeah, I mean, at least the first week, y'all, with the 6 episodes.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
after that it'd be better, but we're we like to stress ourselves out.
we kind of do. I was like, let's watch. I was like, Brandon, we could. This was us just brainstorming. I was like, Brandon, we could just, like hunker down and sacrifice for a week and do it all. Because, like, the way that Love Island is set up is like, I feel like you kind of have to get through that first 6 right away.
Love is blind.
Love is Blind. The names are too close.
They
Love
are.
is Blind. LBLI. Love is Blind. To get through it, we have to get over the hump of the first 6 episodes, and it's just so much. Even though you can watch things at 2 times speed on Netflix, it's still a lot of work.
It is, especially because the episodes will sometimes be 50 minutes and sometimes be an hour 20. There's no
Netflix is
rhyme or
no chill.
reason.
None.
And then it's
And
just like,
yeah, they could easily extend it a little bit, but for some reason they only want their show trending or they only want people watching it for a month.
yeah. And then it's like over and no one talks about it. So that's our other dilemma. We're like, what do we do? So we're going to put a poll on our Spotify. You can also
Mm-hmm.
comment below on our YouTube video. If you want to like send us a message on Instagram or TikTok, if you want to leave us a review saying which one, we love an Apple Podcast review, preferably 5 stars.
Yes,
And if you want to say which one we should do there, we'll listen. We're here for the people.
we
And
are.
so we're just debating back and forth because we obviously we want to finish this Love Island season and end it out. We don't want to give up on it. It's good one. and two, like it would be stupid if we were to, because it's like 6 episodes left. So we
Yeah,
should
there's not much left.
we
We're
will
gonna
of
finish it.
course circle back if we do hit pause, but
Yeah.
it's just a matter of deciding
Between one or the other.
because people still talk like everyone keeps talking about Mormon wives
Yeah.
still, and it's been
And
out for
it's
a
funny
minute.
because we were talking about it together a couple weeks ago, but we're kind of knee deep into Love Island, so we couldn't stop. But I mean, if y'all want to hear our take, we are for the people. So people, let us know
We
what we should
are.
watch.
Our next episode, I think we are, I think, gonna cover the premiere of Secret Wives to dip our toe in,
Yeah, one
gauge,
toe.
see if we like it, see if y'all like it.
Yeah,
So that will be the next episode. But then, like, we just to create a path forward, we need help.
we need help. We need your feedback. Let us know. And
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, we'll find let us know in the poll or in the comments. Keep us posted on what we should do. And we'll do what you want us to do. But if we don't hear back, I mean, people are gonna fill it out, but our thought is that we'll just do Secret Wives of
Secret
Mormon, or
Secret
Secret
Lives of Mormon
Lives
Wives.
of
These
Mormon
tongue
Wives.
twister.
SL
Oh,
MW
MW.
fuck. SMSWSL fuck. I'm done. We will do that show. That's our plan right now, is to just do that and finish up Love Island.
And
But
then, because we could like hop on the Love is Blind train a little later.
later, yeah.
It's just hard because y'all on socials be all over it. And especially because they dropped
Mm,
6 episodes. We don't want to be too late. But I mean, I
right.
guess if people want to listen, they'll listen. So
Yeah. Yeah,
there
that's
is
fine
that
too.
too.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're letting
This
y'all
year,
in on our admin, and we like to give the
yeah.
people a voice.
Yeah, this year of, I mean, this is our first year podcasting. It's an experimental time just to see what works, what doesn't work, what we like, if we like each other, if we like watching shows, like what we want
Hmm.
to do. So we're open to trying something new. So keep us posted. Because yeah, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is a completely different brand of show for us.
It
It's
is.
not a competition, and then it's not like, oh well, is it like Housewives?
It's Housewives ish. I feel
Yeah.
like it's a mix between Housewives and Vanderpump.
Okay. So yeah,
Which,
it's a different
speaking
breed.
of Housewives, Potomac, they just released the first 7 minutes of the premiere. Tell me how they did a
How was that?
reenactment of Karen's DUI.
Explain. Like she was in the car driving and
They
then
did like they put a message. This is a reenactment or something like that.
oh
And then it was like
gosh.
they're in a car.
It
They're
was
driving down
Karen?
the road. They didn't show anyone. It was just it's as if you're the driver. And then like all of a sudden a deer runs in front and you're swerving.
Oh
And
my
then it's
gosh.
like and then it gives timestamps 11:50. Karen Huger was arrested for DUI. It's like we're laughing because no one was hurt, thankfully. They were so unserious with like
Oh
truly with this reenactment.
yeah.
Like I was shocked actually when I
That's
was
so
watching it. I was
funny.
like, no, they're not.
I'm dead. That's hilarious. Look,
So if Potomac, that was another one. Potomac may be something we trickle in as well if it's good.
Brandon.
Yes,
Yes, if it's good. Why do I have a feeling like that's gonna be the most exciting thing that
we could at
happens
least talk
throughout?
about that.
Right. Because I'm like, what is going on in their lives right now? I don't know.
We
I
need to
don't know.
know.
Not that I don't like housewife shows, but I'm kind of over it right now. Like the allure is a little gone.
It's it's tricky
It is
because
because it's like things need to be happening that you want to watch. Like Vanderpump, I wanted to see how is Ariana doing? What's she
mhm,
doing since breaking up with Tom and starting her new life and going on Broadway, right? Like there's things you want to know.
yeah.
But for most of the casts, I don't know them enough to care. And of the ones I do know, I don't care.
It's tricky with Housewives too because the seasons are so long. and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
one episode a week.
Mm-hmm.
And like Housewives, there's been a bit of a Housewives lag lately because
Mm-hmm.
like Potomac wasn't good this past season, Atlanta wasn't good this past season,
Mm-hmm.
Beverly Hills low key wasn't. Um, OC is good this season, but I feel like it doesn't get like amazing viewers, but people talk about it a lot online. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Salt Lake
Mm.
City again doesn't give good live viewers or something, but it people talk about it's actually really good this season. Um, but I don't know. And then like Jersey was awful this season.
Yeah.
They're starting New York again with the rebooted cast, and I mean it looks good. It's not like amazing, but it looks like I'll watch it, but I'm not like
Yeah.
I must talk about this.
Right.
Um, but we'll see. But speaking of Vanderpump, Ariana did just say on E! News, I guess in some article she was being interviewed, that she hasn't talked to Lala since the reunion.
Oh, and I wouldn't either.
I would never talk to her
Brandon,
again.
Brandon, did you see those? I sent Brandon a bunch of videos where they change the audio and it turns to the whispering
Oh yeah.
voiceover. And it's like, I hate you, bitch. I hate you more. Like they're just like scream fighting. And it was
Mhm.
the one when Tom was in drag
He's a
and
battered
Ariana's
wife.
he's a battered wife. But there were some clips of Ariana's fight with Lala as well. It was like Ariana's best takes or something, and there was one where she
Oh
was arguing
yes.
with Lala at a party. I don't know what the context was.
It was the
She ate her
season
up.
before. It was season 9. It was the COVID season. It was a rough season.
Mm.
They had just
Mm-hmm.
fired Stassi and Kristen for being racist. They fired Jackson Brittany for being Jackson Brittany. Um, and and it was COVID. So it was kind of like a major cast shift and nothing was going on. They really set them up for failure just with how they set up everything. But it was Raquel and James's engagement party. And they
Oh
were
wow.
arguing because Sheena and Brock got engaged right before and then announced it at
Oh, that's
the
so fucked up,
engagement
and they didn't give him
weekend.
a heads up.
Yes, and Lala was like, like she went up to Ariana, and Ariana didn't even say anything, and Lala like gave her attitude because Lala had just argued with Sheena, and she's like, and don't try to defend Sheena. And then Ariana was like, bitch, shut up. And then it's when they like kind of started to argue.
Wow.
And so that was yeah. But yeah, now
So
they're not
Ariana and
talking.
Sheena were really like good friends. Yeah, I mean they were day ones basically. Mm.
Ariana, season 1, before she was even in the cast, was a backup dancer for Sheena at the
Mm-hmm.
Roxy. Outdanced her, as
Funny.
we know.
Yes, I
And she
remember.
was Sheena's friend when everyone else bullied her. So that's why this past season was even more fucked up with Sheena being like so
I'm
anti-Ariana.
in the middle because I love them both and
Why
I
can't
just
anything be
like
about
them
me?
so much. And Brock is having a second chance of being a dad. And
I'm so happy you got Dancing with the Stars. Did I cry myself to sleep that night? Yes, of
of
course.
course, absolutely. My pillow was soaked. I was rehearsing for 9 months.
I was ready. I was told I was going to be on, and then they
Oh,
announced you.
Brandon, I want to just be so unfiltered that I embarrass myself. Like what the heck? I think that tops every moment on reality TV in terms of like Bravo shows when Sheena admitted to rehearsing for Dancing with the Stars and not getting on it. Like,
It's
girl,
so
what? You
embarrassing.
paid for dance? Let people typically don't do that. That's
No.
so funny.
I
Oh my
think
gosh.
Tom did the same thing. He said it on like the
Well,
after
that
show.
makes sense. That's on brand. He's a freaking he's got a touch of the personality disorder. So
A
I'm
touch.
sure he's rehearsing for a lot of things. I wouldn't be surprised if he came out and did boxing real quick. Like
He's like, I was
I'm
hoping they'd bring back celebrity boxing.
Right? Like I would not be surprised.
Uh,
But Brandon, did you see Anna Delvey is got eliminated
she did.
over the old man? What's
Uh,
his name?
the one from Family Matters. There was
Yes.
another old guy too, though, that was also bad. I have to
That stayed in?
say that stayed in. I have to
What? Both of them?
say, Anna, she had a bad attitude, and she kind of looked like that the doll Megan, and she's kind
She
of
does look like
horrifying.
Megan.
But
Bro,
she could kind of dance. She wasn't
mo
that bad.
I didn't watch I only watched the decision part, so I didn't see let me call this man by his name. I didn't see his dance. But maybe it was better, but I was like, how is Anna Delvey worse than you that she's going home? Or are you guys sending her home because it looks bad to have somebody with a freaking ankle monitor on your show? Like, is that what it is? Just say it then. That's what OB was suspecting, that they just eliminated her because of that.
I think it was partially that. I think it was the audience just didn't like her. And like,
Hmm.
because truly, she really wasn't that bad. But like, when they asked her, they're like, "What are you going to take away from this experience, Anna?" And she
She said
goes,
nothing, right?
"Nothing." I'm like, okay,
One thing about Anna Delvey is she keeps it a buck, man.
she does.
Ziwe interviewed her. It's on YouTube and it's
Oh,
so
yes.
funny. It's so
I
funny.
need to
Did you
watch the
watch
full
it?
thing. I saw clips on TikTok, but I need to watch the whole
It's
thing.
it's hilarious because the whole time Ziwe is like baiting her and is like, so, fraud. Do we like it? Do we not? And she's like, I'd never defrauded anyone. And so it's like the whole time she's like referencing that she's a fraudster and all this stuff, and Anna kind of just ignores it. And then they take pictures on the street together. Like it's just funny. It's funny. I love Ziwe.
She is
So
funny.
sad she doesn't have her own show anymore.
I know. I'm surprised she doesn't have a podcast.
Right? She could totally do a podcast. I
Yeah,
mean, her YouTube kind of just had a hiatus for almost a year.
it
Um,
did. Maybe she's
except for
like
like,
seeing if there's more opportunities, trying to see like what would be the next best step.
yeah, or
Um,
like who is worth interviewing, because I think or she interviewed Anna Delvey and then she interviewed that other politician that lied a lot and got kicked out of office.
what
That
was
was
his
funny.
name?
Alex, fuck. Hold on, I'm just gonna go find.
I'm so
Excuse
bad with
me.
names. I completely forget his name, but I know who
But
you're
that was
talking
a
about.
funny interview too because she also baited him. So she picks very specific people, like people with questionable George Santos, people
Santos.
with questionable history and like backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so
She's
those
good.
were
We love Z-Way.
we love
Um,
Ziwe.
yeah, and then also Tori Spelling went home and her partner was Pasha, who was Ariana's. So that sucks.
Oh
But
yeah.
you know, who's
That was
really
the
good?
housewife, right?
No, Tori Spelling, she's the actress. Um,
Hmm.
she was on like Beverly Hills 90210. I think the only housewife is Phaedra. And she's doing pretty good.
Yeah, Phaedra's doing well.
And she has a good partner, Val. He's really popular. So as long as she doesn't do too bad, I think she can make it far.
Oh yeah, I remember her. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they sent those two home, and I thought the two old guys would go home for, or at least one of them would go home first for
Right.
sure.
But I think
Or
they
is it
have like
girls?
the demographic of people who watch Dancing with the Stars is maybe a little older.
Older, yeah.
And so they're like, oh, we like them.
Right.
Let's vote.
Oh, well,
Um,
it is based off of America's vote. I forgot. America voted them out.
if it was scores, they would have stayed. Because
Right, right.
Anna, I think she wasn't at the bottom. She could have been in the middle. She wasn't bad, but you know,
I wanted to vote for Alona, but the text thing went by too fast, and I was like, okay, I
oh,
don't want to look it up.
she did better the second week.
Yeah, she looked a
She
little
did.
better.
Yeah,
I'm
she seemed
excited
more
to keep
comfortable,
watching.
which makes sense.
It comes out on Tuesdays, right?
Yes, at
I need to watch
8
again.
p.m. Eastern, and
Look
it's
at
2 hours long,
I need to watch.
which is tiring, but hey. Um,
Brandon.
Yes.
Can I go on a small tangent or do you want to jump in?
You can go on a small tangent, of course.
Let's time it. I'm gonna give myself 5 minutes to tell you about my weekend.
Oh yeah,
So,
Maggie was doing all crazy stuff this weekend. She didn't let me know what she was doing. She was just like, I'm busy. And I'm like, okay, maybe she'll tell me if she wants to.
we didn't
Let
have
me
a
not,
chance
let me not
to
pry.
talk.
I don't want to pry.
It was just a lot. And like my dumbass. So on because it's Monday now, we usually watch 3 episodes when we record. So last Wednesday, I was like, "Oh, Brandon, I'm gonna be busy. Can we record Friday? I could crunch down and record on Friday." Me and Obi have planned. He booked a photo session with this company. They give you basically like portrait like photos that once it's printed will look like a piece of artwork. Like
Oh,
they like paint over it and they like do some stuff and it like turns out really nice. We've known
oh.
about this for a month. Friday, we still did not have clothes for a Saturday evening photo shoot. My dumbass, I'm like, yeah, Brandon, I can watch 3 episodes and record with you on Friday night. And then when I texted you, it was like 5:30, and I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, why do what how am I so like Brandon, at this point, I don't know who to blame because I'm just being stupid, like telling you one thing and knowing damn well, like it's low-key impossible for me to achieve this thing. We were out shopping until like 10 o'clock. I gotta
This is who
blame the
you
man in the
should
mirror.
blame. I can't
Myself.
I can't do it right. Wait, how do I do this? I can't do it right, but you see you.
It's me. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. I don't know why I really be thinking like, oh, I can do this and that and this and that. No way. I was really thinking like that morning. I was like, oh yeah, I can go shopping on the way to go shopping. I can watch the episodes, take some notes, come home, record. No, there's no
I
way.
I want you to run by me every morning if you need to and be like, what do you think you have planned? And then I will tell you realistically
What
what
I
you
can
can
do.
do and time it
I
out for
like
you.
that. I like that because maybe that will help me because I do this with not a lot of things, but like I really have these like delusions that I'll do something. And then sometimes I know I have something to do and I'll just sit around for 15 minutes, just taking a little brain break. But anyway, busy weekend. So Friday night we went shopping. I didn't have a dress or anything to wear. Obi didn't have clothes either. We go to Macy's and we go to JC Penney's.
Ooh.
And after JC Penney's, I was about to go to Anthropology because I was like I wanted like a gown kind of thing. And we found his stuff, bought some stuff for him, found my dress, and then returned everything we bought for him and got new stuff so it would match. But the look came together really well. The photo shoot was a lot of fun. It was in Orlando, so like we had to drive out there. I did my makeup and everything, and that was fun. And then we've been planning this for a while. My brothers came because we're in Tampa. My brothers came and we were watching the Bucks game because Obi is an Eagles fan. They were playing the Eagles. And so we all went together. Astra came. It was a lot of
Oh.
fun because she's from Philly.
Oh yeah.
And so we had a really good time. We got tickets to a really cool tailgate. There was an MC and everything, but it took us 30 minutes to find it because whoever we purchased it from, like it was under like there were multiple tailgates gathering in the same spot, but like I didn't have the right name of the place. So I was very pissed off until I went there and there was an open bar and I was like, never mind. I'm not mad anymore. This is great. And we had a really good time, except for the fact that the Eagles lost. So me and Obi has gone to 4 Eagle games. I've gone to 2. And every time we go, they lose. Even though they're a pretty good team
Do
that
you
almost made it to the
think
Super Bowl last
you're
year
bad
or
luck?
2 years ago. I think it's us. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's me. Because I'm just like, how the hell? But they did have a lot of people out this week. So maybe that's the reason. But it was a very, very busy weekend, Brandon. But I got to see my brothers. We all hung out. It was a good day. It was a long day, but it was good.
That's good. Yes, I kept seeing on Maggie's Instagram stories. She was like, just got my nails done, just did my
Yeah.
makeup, just did my
Uh,
hair. This is me in my emerald green gown. I'm like, where are you going? I was like, are
Can
you
you
going to a wedding?
No, right? It looked like it was wedding. Like, I really need to figure out where I'm gonna wear this fucking dress. Because after we got all dressed up, I was like, we should go somewhere, but where would I go dressed like this?
Should have took you to the Dawn Cesar.
Or something.
Somewhere
Except
nice.
we were in Orlando. So I was like, where do we go? So
It
I was like, let's just go home because we have a long day tomorrow.
true. It's a good dress though to have. It's very nice. And
Thank
then Maggie was
you.
at a football game. I was like, oh, okay. Look at
Yeah.
her.
It was actually the tailgate was really more fun than the game. We had like nosebleed seats,
Typically.
but like thankfully the Buck Stadium you can kind of just like chill wherever. So we got pretty close to the field when we were watching. It was cool.
That's good.
I had a
I'm
good time.
glad.
What'd you do this weekend? Did you do anything fun?
What did
Or
I
was it a
do?
restful weekend?
I, this weekend, went furniture shopping
Oh,
for my
Brandon.
new apartment that I'll be moving
Mm-hmm.
into in T minus 1 month, 2 days.
I was about to say it's a little bit away.
Um, well, the main thing I went to Ashley's because I was trying to find a couch,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to set the precedent that when I started my couch shopping journey, I didn't want gray and I didn't want leather.
Why?
I don't know. I wanted something. I first I wanted a blue couch. Then I wanted something maybe lighter, like a cream that would match everything. And then I was settling on a dark gray couch potentially. I always wanted a sectional. But I don't know. I just didn't because usually with like leather couches, they're either too expensive or the cheap ones aren't nice.
Mm-hmm.
So then like I go to Ashley's on Saturday. I go with Gia, I go with my mom, my cousin Brandy popped
All
up because she was in
together?
the area. We were all
Oh, that's
together. And it was
fun.
good because I was having no opinions. Like, is this one nice? Can we all sit
Mm-hmm.
on it? Like, what's this like? And there was one couch we passed that I didn't think I'd like, and people were sitting on it. So I was like, I don't know. And then we like looked around, it was big, and then there was this one couch I kind of liked, but I wasn't sold on. It was a dark gray sectional.
Mm-hmm.
It was affordable, but the seats were kind of small. There was something, it didn't sit with my
Mm.
spirit. And Gia had an honest moment where she was like, this isn't the one. And I was like, you're right.
Wow.
It's not the one.
Well, it's not the one.
And then we circle back and I see the first couch we saw that I was just like, let's just look at it. I'm like, let's just look, whatever. And then we do. We sit on it. We all sit on it. We feel it. We inherit it. We become one with it. And I
Wow.
realize this is the couch. And this
Wow.
couch was a light gray leather couch. What I did not
All the
want,
things he didn't want, but turned out that's what he needed.
I was rejecting what was to be.
Hmm.
There's a special offer. So I just
Look
put
at
a down
that.
payment and now I'm financing the rest and it's not bad monthly payments. It was a sectional, got a left
Hmm.
facing one so that the
Oh, that's
sectional is against
perfect
the
for the
patio.
apartment.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it truly I fell in love with the couch that day.
Brandon,
And so that's exciting. Y'all will see it soon.
I'm
So
so happy
don't
for
worry.
you.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah. Aw.
And then
He
we also went
found
to At
his man.
Home and stuff.
Oh, did you see any? Like, they got good accessories and knickknacks and stuff.
They had some good vases and artwork I want to go back and see. And they got
Mm-hmm.
these bar stools I want to order
Mm.
online. So I want to see if
Mm-hmm.
they're online. If they're not, I'll go back. But I don't think they had the size I wanted. But I
Mm.
took pictures. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So that was full. Saturday we did that. And then Sunday I made the decision to get the couch. So I went back with my mom and we bought it and did all that and
Yay.
scheduled the delivery. And then I showed mom the apartment.
Yes.
Our
When's it
buildings are
coming?
very close,
Oh, you didn't
but
tell me your building yet. Text me.
I will.
Well, when does it come in?
We scheduled it to be the day I move in.
Look at that. Oh, I love when everything can happen at the same time. I'm like
Mhm.
so impatient. I'm like, I don't have this yet.
Right? Because
Shit, I'll just go buy a cheap one and then return it because I just want to have it now.
right, I was like, "Can I schedule?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, the soonest we can get is even October 2nd." And I'm like, "Well, that's very soon and
Oh,
actually very nice, but I won't need it until November
yeah.
2nd." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." I'm like,
Oh my
"Okay."
gosh, Brandon. We're neighbors.
We're really neighbors. No, it's right. It's like
Oh, the one across from the thing? The big roundabout?
entrance to the left, where yours is to the
I
right.
can literally cross the street and go see Brandon. What floor are you on again?
The first.
Look at that. And I don't have to take the stairs. Oh, I can't wait.
It's gonna be so much fun.
I can't wait. We're gonna be neighbors.
We are. Oh,
Hmm. I might need a key. No, I'm just
they
kidding.
they do give too.
They do.
So
Give it to your
maybe.
mom or something. But if she's not gonna
Okay.
help you, give it to me. I'll help you
Give
more.
it to me. I need it.
We have this running joke because Brennan has been in one situation in particular. He was at my apartment and his car like wouldn't start. And I was like, Brandon, call your parents. I think I recommended, or maybe you already called them.
Maybe I
And
don't know.
his mom was like, fuck, Brandon, I don't know.
Shit, Brandon, I don't know.
And she was on speaker and he's like, thanks, mom. Like she didn't help. So I always just think I'm sure she's an amazing lady. But in that moment, she didn't help him, and I thought it was really funny.
It was funny. It was late. I think it was like midnight.
It was very late. Yeah. I think you ended up just staying.
No, I think my good friend, shout out to Stephanie. I think she
Oh,
came and gave me a
Stephanie did
jump,
come and get you.
and then I was able to
Yeah,
make
because
it
I didn't have a
home.
car at that time to jump you.
Oh yeah. But
That's
what a time, what a
funny.
time. We go back.
hmm Well,
Um,
speaking of at home, on these episodes of Love Island, I saw a lot of props and things that I've never seen before. We saw Johnny have various items for some big thing he was doing. And I witnessed a Love Island cast member eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
we did. Who
It's
was it
crazy.
again?
Justine, and she was sharing it with Cely. She like
It
ripped her
was.
off a piece and they were eating. And I was like, y'all eat PBs and J's? Wow.
There was a lot in these episodes
hmm
that I don't know if we needed to see.
Honestly, yeah. There's a lot I'm just gonna condense.
A lot of trifling people, a lot of games,
A lot
a
of
lot
games.
of a lot.
Bad choices, I would say. We'll get to it.
We will. I just
You were
this was a lot.
it was. It was.
But y'all, we're gonna be going over Love Island USA season 2, episodes 26, 27, and 28. Let's start with episode 26, Daddy's Coming Home. If you remember from
Mm-hmm.
the last episode, it ended with the recoupling. Now they did some trickery because it ended with Moira, but then when we pick back up,
It
all of a
starts.
sudden it's
hmm
Sally. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. They
So
were trying to fool us.
CBS really takes a lot of freedom with their edit,
Oh, they sure do.
creative liberties with their editing.
Uh-huh.
They're like, we will tease something 3 episodes before we will actually show it.
It's
And not only that,
crazy.
we will show something at the end of one episode, leave it as a cliffhanger, then start with something else. We will also put things out of order and repeat things.
We will also have cast members discuss things twice, just in
Yes.
case you
And
missed it
then
the first time.
Islanders will leave in the middle of the night. And we won't say why. We'll just say they're gone.
We'll just say they left.
And
So
I'm like,
funny.
you know what? Do your thing, CBS. No wonder they went to Peacock.
Right.
Um, but Cely's up. She says she's grown so much and feels really in sync with this person, and she sadly chooses Johnny.
Boo, tomato,
Bennett.
tomato.
Like I get it, but I wish she would have pulled a power move and been like Benny,
No,
but she
I
didn't.
agree. She didn't. This is just the rite of passage in life where you just got to make choices with the information that you have at the time.
This is true. And they're stuck in this hotel
Mm.
villa. It's
Wait a
tricky.
minute. She had a lot of information to make a better choice, I feel. What do you think?
She
She
didn't
didn't
have
see it.
none. You know, I'll give this to her.
Not she didn't have none.
I think she effectively put Johnny's feet to the fire and held him
Yeah.
accountable. So I think
Yeah.
at that point, it was up to if she was willing to move on and if Johnny showed change.
Yeah.
So I guess in her eyes, I will say she feels Johnny changed or is showing he will change.
Yeah. It
I
just
don't
took
see it.
5 conversations to get there, which is my one.
It
Like, if
did.
I have to talk to you about something several times, if I have to say, because what the first conversation he played, like, I don't know, he was just playing in her face for a minute. And
No,
then
he
when she was
wasn't. He's
finally like,
rude.
he is. And then finally she was like, you're not gonna interrupt me. I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to understand where you're coming from. Then he finally shut up and listened.
Hmm.
But yeah.
It is what it is, I guess.
I'm glad that Cordell got to show his actions to the world because I want Cordell to like now be the standard for like if your man, I'd give them one day to be like, "Oh, it wasn't my fault." But if they turn around, they act like Cordell and they're like, "It was my fault. You're right. I was totally wrong. I'm so sorry. I regret my choice. I'm sorry. I have no excuse. I have no excuse. I did something bad. I'm sorry." Like, if that's what you lead with, then I can forgive you. But
Yeah.
Johnny talking about, oh, she probably doing the same thing. She
She's gonna be with Benny.
Mercedes was tempting me. You weren't in the bed with her. What would you have
I
done?
woke up with clarity.
Uh-uh.
No, you didn't.
Because she woke up with Carrington.
You got clarity because of Carrington. You got clarity. Uh, but we're
Anyway.
gonna see more with these two um
Hmm.
in these episodes. But then Kiersten, my new favorite bombshell islander, I think. She kind of
Oh,
won
yeah,
me
yeah,
over
yeah.
these episodes.
Really?
I just appreciated
I
her
started liking her less. Because of this speech in particular.
Okay. Well, she did. So she says she can be superficial and shallow sometimes. So it's hard to open up. But this guy makes her want to open up. You didn't like it?
That no, it's fine. But like 10 minutes later, she kind of like goes back on it. Oh my gosh, she dated that girl. Oh, that's so crazy. What happened right now? Oh my gosh. Like if Serena acted like that, I mean, it's not her brother or whatever. It was someone he dated, so it's not that deep. But like Serena didn't even flinch when she found out that Cordell had a famous brother. You know?
No. I mean, I just appreciate Kirsten's savageness that we'll get to.
All right, show me.
I'll show it. But she picked Bennett, who
She picked Bennett. And I finally saw the sun tattoo. It is very impressive. Pretty big.
impressive.
Yeah. It's like a perfect sun.
It's a circle. That's perfect. Yes.
You don't like it?
No. It's just solid like a big circle and then triangles. It looks like a PacSun or Urban Outfitters tote.
Not an Urban Outfitters tote, Brandon.
It would be on it. Next is Laurel, our girl Laurel, who made me cackle these few episodes. We'll get into it, but she says this guy was unexpected and he won her over with one conversation. Carrington. And he's like, thanks. Um, and now we circle
Oh.
back to Moira
Mm-hmm.
with what I stand by is impeccable makeup.
Oh
But
no, she looked great. I noticed her as well.
she did. I was like, okay, Moira, eat. Um, she says it's the hardest decision she's ever had to make in the villa. She cries, as she does. And she chooses da 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 da, Calvin. Were you surprised?
Yes. I thought that she would pick well, she couldn't pick Benny.
Yeah, they
So
never
no, it
really
makes
talked.
sense. Yeah, no, it makes sense actually.
Yeah, and especially because
Excuse me.
what's his name just broke up with her, Connor, or friend zoned her.
Yeah, Connor friend zoned her and Loki Calvin friend zoned her.
Yeah. But then they had that one conversation where she was like, it seems like if you stayed, you'd be utilizing your time wisely.
Oh, so you think she's like, so by utilizing your time wisely, that means that you're gonna like spend more time talking to me because I'm amazing.
Maybe. I think also because what was it? Connor was like, I know one couple is just going to be friends. So she knew either Connor. I think with Connor, as we see, he was still into Mackenzie, and with Calvin, he was at least open to something. So it was like, okay, I'll pick Calvin.
All right.
But this means we say goodbye to Connor and Benny. And Connor says right to the camera, Mr. Gus, Daddy's coming home.
Woo. Connor, I hate you. Connor, pick a side. Man, it
The shift, it was the flip because literally it was just I can't be with Mackenzie. This is such a bad
I
decision
can't
for us
look
to
at
get
her.
together. All the people were like, yeah, don't get back with her. Now it's Gus, daddy's coming home. And then everyone's cheering and Moira's like, get your girl. They're like, yeah. I'm like, what? What's
And
going
then
on?
I was like, are we in the Twilight Zone? Is everybody watching the same show I'm watching? And then later, Moira's in the dressing room with all the girls. And she's like, I wanted to give Connor a push. One last push to see, if it was me or Mackenzie. And I was like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? We saw him friend zone you. Don't rewrite history. He was definitely like, I think we should be friends in the plainest, clearest way ever. The one time Connor has been very clear is that he wanted to be friends with you, Moira. So what are you talking about that you wanted to give him a push?
Yeah. I
What does that
wonder if
mean?
he like went up to them and was just like, I really want to be with Mackenzie. And they were just like, okay, we'll send you home.
So then why would she say she gave him a push? All the girls were like, yeah, a push. And I was like, when? Where? How?
I think to say like to just let him be with Mackenzie, I think.
I thought that she was, oh, okay. All right, maybe I'm misreading Moira, but I thought that she meant that she was like trying to encourage him to make a choice for himself and blah 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 and blah blah blah. When I thought it was obvious what his choice was, but I could be misreading.
I guess. But maybe if he didn't directly say he was open to like a new bombshell or anyone else, it's kind of like he's not going to be open to this experience. Let me make this decision so he can finally be with Mackenzie. Maybe. She did cry
Maybe.
when he friend zoned her, which was again random.
Oh yeah, because she's like, where is the love of my life that I was promised when I signed the
Where
contract
is
for
the
the show?
love? Where is the love? Did you notice Calvin was sobbing with no tears?
He was like, man, but he was like laughing. He was like, man.
I'm like, Calvin, what are you doing?
And Connor's like, I've cried here too, man. When, Connor?
Jesus, I can't. Bye,
I'm pretty
Connor.
sure they would have showed us that if it really happened.
Look, but Connor got a pep in his step. He was so happy to leave. He was like packing. He was like, bye, y'all. This has been great. Can't wait to see Mackenzie. See y'all later. And, you
And then,
know,
oh yeah, go ahead.
they do a video call. He leaves and he's like, hey, Mackenzie. And she's like, what's happening? And he's like, I just wanted to see if you would give me another chance. And she's like, well, Mr. Gus says yes, and so do I. He's like, I'm coming for you both. I'm like, I hate everything. Like,
Me
what the
too.
fuck is
He was like,
happening?
yes. And I was like, you're so fucking fake. This is so Brandon. What are the odds that you would FaceTime her? She would pick up. She would be home with the bear.
That part. I wonder if it was filmed like way after the fact.
Maybe. Or
I
they
have a
told her, like, hey,
theory.
look, they texted her, hey, he just got photoed out. Are you free?
You free, Mackenzie? And she's like, yeah, totally. I mean, I would imagine maybe, well, it is during the COVID time. So
Oh yeah,
she
they're on
probably was
lockdown, so
still
she probably
home.
was home. Yeah.
But they did probably like let her know, like producers, like, hey, we're gonna call you. Um, I do have a theory, because I do think that was maybe filmed a little more after. I think with this past season, when they do their walkouts and it's like slow motion, I think they filmed this a couple times. Because if you notice
Hmm.
that everyone's hair is fixed, they just went from crying to all of a sudden serving face. They were just like,
Maybe the 30-minute packing was really like, freshen up. We're gonna do something else.
Andrea, 13 minutes. Uh, Benny says he wishes the best for Johnny and Sally and feels like Johnny will clean up his act. We'll see. They're not together today, so I don't
Nope.
think he did. And now he
Yep.
has a baby girl and is not showing the baby mama. And he literally just posted randomly on his Instagram when the baby was born.
Who, Johnny or Benny?
Johnny.
Yeah, I have a feeling, you know how people have that thing that just turns them one way or another, like great for the rest of time, or maybe on a bad, not so great track. I have a feeling this is Johnny's kryptonite, and like Love Island has stunted him from like get finding love, being in a committed relationship. Because the next time I see Johnny is on the challenge and he makes out with a girl like within a couple hours of knowing her. So I don't know if
Yeah.
he's like, I just want to be in have a hoe phase, which is fine. By all means, do it.
Yeah. Just don't screw people over.
Right, like
Which he
Cely.
seems to do it. Because even his partner on the Ride or Dies, Raven, was like, what the hell? Why is he making out with someone else?
We just got here. What is he doing?
He was
Crazy.
bold on that show too. He went home early too. That was a
He
good
did.
time.
He's like,
Um,
I'm not trying to make a deal, but if we do something, will you protect me?
he's like, I'm not here to
Johnny's
make deals,
so
but what about
funny.
this deal? It's like, okay, Johnny.
Brendan
Anyways,
and I watched the first episode and I was like, what's Johnny talking about?
he was just as unlikable on that show as this one. Um, we cut to Bennett, and he's very happy that Kiersten picked him, and is
Mm-hmm.
happy to get to know her on a deeper level. And this is where he reveals his ex's Summer Rae, who I believe is like an influencer.
I was like, Brandon will let me know who this person is.
I didn't end up looking it back up, but I think she is like an Instagram girl, like
Well,
influencer.
Kiersten knew and she was like, oh my gosh, what oh my gosh. And I was like, Kiersten, you're not gonna become her friend. You're dating her ex. She
It's
was like, where am I right now? This is crazy.
I wonder if him saying that help is what helps him get cast. Like, oh, I
I
dated Summer
don't.
Rae.
Well, he didn't bring it up until now.
That's true. But they met when he waited on her one night at work, lived together for almost 2 years. And she's like, her loss is my gain. And I'm like, you don't believe that, as we will see. Um, they kiss, but she won't do tongue because she doesn't do tongue day one.
Kiersten doesn't like you,
She
Bennett.
doesn't.
Because I saw her be very physical with Carrington.
Yeah.
Kind of off rip. There was none of that. Oh, don't kiss me because my lipstick. There
It,
was none of
oh, the
that.
Cher and Calvin.
Yeah, like because she didn't. Who was she? Doesn't. I don't think Kiersten wants to be physical with people that she doesn't really like that.
She's real. Say,
Mm-hmm.
she's if she's not into it, she's not into it. And
Mm-hmm.
we gotta respect Kiersten. At least I
Yeah.
do. But hey. Johnny and Cely are talking and he's crying because he's so happy they're good.
It took him like 20 minutes to drop one single tear. I was like, is he really gonna cry? And then they showed a little glisten on his cheek. And I was like, I really feel
There it
like
is.
if you're, I don't know, not me judging this man's tears.
As
I
you
just am
should.
curious if they're genuine or not.
I think a lot of what he does is for him, but is disguised as for Cely.
For her, yeah.
And I'll leave it
And
at
she's,
that. We'll get
but
to
Sally
it.
eats it up. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry.
She does, and she's like, it's been a roller coaster, but she like feels the same, and she's like, this is our clean state. They're excited about life outside the villa, and he's like, I think I'm falling for you, and she's like, I feel the same. Yup. Boo boo boo.
Yuck.
Uh, they're all getting ready for bed, and Sally tells Laurel Justine her conversation with Johnny was amazing. Johnny's lotioning and is telling Calvin about his conversation. And
Hmm.
then Moira, with the curveballs, tells Laurel, I'm really into Bennett.
Are you?
And it's like, since when? And Laurel's like, you should do it. Yes.
You should speak to him before it's too late.
And she's like, I will.
But should
And,
I?
but should I? Kiersten's my girl. I was like, we'll see.
So was Mackenzie.
Right? And she was like your girl, but whatever. Didn't
Hmm.
stop you there. The pillow fight was funny. I
It
did
was
laugh at
funny.
this. It was Calvin and Sally. They have like a pillow fight, and then Johnny jumps in, kind of funny. Also kind of try hard, but that's just Johnny. You have to factor that into
Oh, of
everything.
course. It's like, what, a competition? I can hit you harder.
Yes. And then
Where's the pillow?
Justine jumped in as well, so it made it even funnier. And they were like defending
Yeah.
Sally from Calvin. I'm like, this was actually really funny. And I
No, it
enjoyed
was
that
fun.
moment.
Yeah, Calvin looked like he was having the time of his life.
He did. I was like, okay, personality, Calvin. But then everyone goes to bed. And then the next day, Kiersten liked that Bennett cuddled, but that he only cuddled a little bit.
They asked Bennett about this too, and he's like, "Yeah, she let me." He was like, because Johnny was like, "Did you get any cuddles in?" And Bennett's like, "Yeah, for a little bit, but then I think she got hot." Kiersten is like, "You're gonna do it this way and this way and this way." You're right. She does. I like she runs shit. I respect it. I respect it.
She's funny. I don't
She
know. There's
is
just something
funny.
about her. I like that she's just like, yeah, like he just like cuddled for a second, then it's just like, okay, enough.
Enough.
She
We're
gives
good.
me a slight Leah vibes with the like,
I was like, I had to search my mind. Leah?
Leah, who's Leah?
No,
Just
no,
a
because when
little, like with the Connor, like, don't cuddle
oh,
me. I get
boop,
really hot at night. The
boop.
nose touch,
Yeah, no, it is a little
a
bit
little
like that.
savage. I mean, we love Leah. We love Leah
I love
more, but
Leah.
Kiersten's a sleeper. Where it's
Yeah,
just
no, I
like I
agree.
appreciate her presence, and I'm like, I like you. I wish you would get over
Yeah.
Carrington, but
Oh,
hey.
that's really annoying. I'm like, girl.
I'm like, okay, it's been a minute.
Every time something is revealed, it's revealed that Kirsten still likes Carrington.
They're like, yeah, she still likes Carrington. She's like, I
So we did
still
another
like
activity.
Carrington.
Turns out, okay, Kiersten was sleeping in her sleep. She said Carrington's name. Like it always goes back to him. And so that's kind of annoying too. So I think I was equally annoyed by her speech and this. But then again, her speech was kind of honest, like her being transparent to say, like, I can be shallow, but I want to open up. You know what? I've
Boop.
changed my mind.
I love that.
Kirsten. And I get it, man. Like when I like somebody, I like them a lot. So I kind of get that she's not over Carrington, but because she also doesn't see him how we do. Maybe he's better, or maybe it's just he's just got that stuff where you're just stuck on him for a while. Cause I really feel like he treated her like shit.
He
Like the fact
wasn't
that she's
great.
not mad at him all the time, you know?
Yeah. I guess it's just like, I wonder if it's like, I want to be with Carrington, or if it's more, I'm not feeling anyone the way I felt for Carrington.
I think it's more like that.
which I
Yeah.
I can get because if you
Same.
felt something great with someone and then everyone else is kind of like mid and you're not getting there and you can't escape it. So although they broke up and maybe you treated her bad, she still has to see him every day.
Hmm.
And like it's like not like normal.
Yeah.
It's like weird. I could never be on the
Yeah.
show. I would like
Right.
get in an argument every day.
No, I'd leave. I'd be like, so
I would have a
break my
dramatic moment.
contract.
At this recoupling, I choose me. The Love Island was with me, self-love.
And then they cut it out and they're like, Brandon left before the recoupling, but he stayed long enough to stand by it.
They just
Like there
CGI me
was
out.
right, there's like an empty
There's just
there's an empty space and the floor looks a little funny in that
they're like, huh,
spot.
something seems odd.
Like there wasn't a season of Love is Blind, the one season 5. This girl married this dude, was in like a lot of stuff, and then they ended up not showing their tapes because I think he was an alcoholic or something. He was not a great guy.
Oh yeah.
And so instead, they just had voiceovers of them saying like, "Yeah, my mom came dress shopping and so did Renee." It was like obvious that Renee was there to buy a dress too, but they just kind of like made it seem like she should be there. And they were like, "Oh, and on the wedding day, Renee came to wish me luck." And it's like, no, she didn't. And she was supposed to be there getting married too. It was
That's
really
wild
funny.
when shows do that. They did that on a
Mhm.
season of The Challenge.
Really?
The it was the one with Bailey and Swaggy
Yeah.
where they were in like those bunkers.
Yeah, I watched it.
Do you remember Dee?
Oh, yes.
They didn't show her. They cut her out like a lot of her scenes out towards the end because she was like she said something racist on Twitter or something to
Yeah, she
Bailey.
did something really bad. Oh, to Bailey?
Yeah, she said something like Black lives have always mattered to me. Look at the people I've slept with. Like something like that.
Oh, damn,
Something
that's
it's
pretty
something like
terrible.
fucked up and like just like crazy.
I remember looking it up to see what she said. Yeah. And so for the rest, you kind of just saw her in the background
Yeah, she was
where
like
you
they
saw
cut
like
out
her
her
kneecap.
confessionals, her elimination they kind of showed, but not they didn't show her talking at least. It was just kind of like her
Hmm.
losing. It was just like, oh damn. Cely taught water aerobics and it was amazing.
It was so cute. And they all participated. I was like, they're such a this group is so cool.
They are. And Cely was so fun and like funny
Hmm.
with it. I was like, I want her to teach me water aerobics.
Right.
Ugh, I just love Cely. She deserves the
Hmm.
world. Moira pulls Cely and Justine for a chat, and she's basically saying how she's into Bennett, but she cares about Kiersten. And they're like, you should still go for it. Cause like, what if you like him? And what if like Kiersten doesn't and she picks someone else and then Bennett leaves and then you completely miss out? I'm like, that's logic. Okay.
I was like, y'all, does it not feel like the show's coming to an end? I don't know if there's more guys coming in,
That
but there
part,
might
I
maybe another
maybe
round
we
of
know we get two
guys.
new girls.
Oh, wait, did girls, it was female bombshells first?
This season, yes.
Okay, so then they probably bring another round of guys.
Maybe, but I wonder when, because it's like
Yeah, it's almost over.
it's about to end, but hey, I don't know. Love Island likes to do that.
Yeah.
Um, so Justine comes up with a plan, like, okay, because they see Calvin and Bennett are like tanning together, and Justine's like, I'll get Calvin so you can talk to Bennett.
Hmm.
But she doesn't. She like goes up, she's like, Calvin, where's Caleb? Is he over there? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. And she's like, okay.
I was like, Justine, you had
And then
one job.
so Moira
Well, it
just
was
sits
funny because
down.
she's like, I'll pull Calvin for a chat. And then she's like, but what will we chat about? And I was
Right.
like, right. That's
That
a good
part. She's like, what are we gonna
question.
talk about? But then Moira just walks anyways and sits next to Bennett, but doesn't really say she just gets nervous and she's like, well, it's hot outside. Are you guys tanning? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, it's just it's so hot outside. And then she just lays there. And then Kiersten joins.
Hmm.
And then she just leaves. She's like, this is too much. And I'm like, that was
I
a
was
funny,
like,
awkward moment.
it was.
Oh, Caleb and Justine chat. and they talk about past relationships. And Caleb thinks it's important to open up and be vulnerable about past relationships. And Justine says she never got closure from her last relationship because the guy had ended it. And she's like, trust will be huge because there's distance. And, she loves that he's asking all the right questions and she's excited for the outside. I wonder if she's excited to meet his girlfriend.
Brandon, we don't know if that's true yet.
We gotta look it up. I think it is.
It could be a girl who thought she was his girlfriend.
Okay, Johnny.
So she's not actually my girlfriend, kind of.
But she
Um,
thinks.
yeah, I really want to believe that Caleb did not do that, but we'll see. I don't
Especially
know
because
these people from a can of paint.
he's kind of appointed himself the mature, rational one of everyone. So for
Mhm.
that to be it is a little
Crazy.
But Moira and Calvin chat. And he's like, I've learned the most from my time with you, and I'm open to pursuing things romantically. And she's like, yeah, I'm so happy you said that, but I'm into Bennett.
And Calvin's like, really? Yeah, Calvin, you can't just leave me, couple up with someone else, come back and be like you're open to reconnecting. When we were connected, he was so closed off to her, didn't want to kiss her. Like it took a long time. It just wasn't natural. It wasn't flowing. Now you want Moira back?
Yeah.
No.
It's too much. And I just love that he keeps getting friend zoned.
Me too.
Um, but Moira does pull Bennett for a chat. And she's like, I'm interested in getting to know you. And he's like, yeah, we have a connection. I could get to know you too. So that's the last time we see them talk. Um,
Yay! It's
woo!
going really well for Moira. She keeps
Here
getting friend zoned too, honestly.
she
Even by
does.
Connor. Like,
I
damn,
know. Oh
Connor
God.
friend zoned
Connor
me.
does it. Lord. Um, but Carrington gets a text and it's the heart rate challenge.
Heart rate
And Laurel's
challenge.
like, I don't want to do this, but we'll see her do it. Um, I will say, so it cuts pretty much to the Hearts on Fire. You could tell this was on cable because they just didn't go nearly as hard as this past
Oh
season.
yeah. And they seemed short. It was like either they were rushing or they intentionally made it short. Because you could kind of see them dancing, but like not really much. Or it would cut. They'd be doing something and then they'd automatically be doing something else.
We saw Janae do a split on Kenny's face
Oh,
on
you're
Peacock.
right.
It, this one had nothing near that.
Oh, who was doing crazy body rolls on somebody? Was that Miguel on Leah?
He
He
touched
did
fire and
some.
choked her.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm so glad they moved to Peacock.
Yeah,
Um,
much better.
but I think the announcer even said like it has to be appropriate for CBS or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But Caleb goes first and he was fun and
Hmm.
like
I think he
modest.
was like a butler or something. And he had some breakaway pants.
Yeah,
He
something like
ripped them.
that.
Hmm.
Bennett's next. He's a handyman. He gave me like dry. Wasn't
Yeah.
doing much.
No.
Carrington was a sailor and he did good. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Carrington. He's feeling
Yeah.
himself. He's doing some moves. I was like,
He
okay.
was.
All right. Cowboy Calvin and was kind of funny. I
He
wasn't mad
was.
at
It
it.
was cute.
I was
I
like,
was
okay.
like, okay, Calvin, I see you with your hips.
He's like, oh
He
no,
was
I dropped
like,
my banana. And then he like bent over.
he picked the ugliest, like, gross looking banana. I hate
He
when
did.
bananas are all brown like that.
It was ready for banana
Um,
bread.
he's like, I'm gonna take you to the wild, wild west. He was like doing body rolls, and then he lassoed Cely.
He did. That was funny. And Moira
Mm-hmm.
liked it. She's like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
enjoying this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Pirate Johnny, who looks like he put on a whole bottle of body oil.
They were like, give me the oil. Johnny got the oil first, and then there was none left for anybody else because he was
He's
like
like, nah, it's mine.
shining.
And it in true Johnny fashion, he low-key took it way too serious. Like
Yeah.
to where it was like everyone else was having fun and he was just too intense. And I was like, I don't
Yeah.
like this. Um, the girls go next. Kiersten's first, and she kills it on the pole. She's
Hmm.
like doing her thing. Carrington's like, she got my heart rate up.
Thanks, Carrington. He did seem a little interested when they were doing it.
He did. He got a spark of life in his eyes.
He was like, oh.
Instantly back.
I like opened my eyes and then looked bored immediately after. uh,
That was good. She did have fun though. She makes out with Bennett, and then she made Carrington get up. She's like, "I'm gonna get your heart rate up." It worked.
yeah, it
Um,
did.
Laurel the maid in her maid outfit, like she always got on.
Hmm.
Do you remember that Jocelyn quote from Love and Hip Hop?
No.
She was like, when Mimi, she was with what's his name? Oh my gosh, Stevie. It was like the first season. She's like, I guess Mimi had like a maid service or something, and she was like in the kitchen in the house, and Jocelyn's like, "Is that your maid outfit?" And she's like, "It's jeans," and she's like, "But isn't that what you wear when you're a maid? In your maid outfit, like you always are?"
That's hilarious.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what I instantly thought of. But Laurel's cute, but kind of awkward, you know,
Yeah.
especially when she's
Um,
like on Carrington. I'm like, ugh.
yeah.
But
Caleb
Caleb
was like,
liked it.
she surprised me.
She was like, wow, I didn't expect that. I'm like,
I didn't know she had it in her.
all right.
What was exactly the thing that she had? We didn't see it.
Where'd it go? Did we blink?
Hmm.
Um, Moira goes, she's cute, she slays. I didn't have anything that memorable, but I was
What
like,
was her outfit? Was she like a clog dancer? She's in some
oh, like
lederhosen.
a Oktoberfest,
Oktoberfest.
something like
Okay.
that, because
Yeah,
someone
Calvin
referenced
was
it.
like, I'd go to Oktoberfest with her or something stupid like that.
I'm sure you would, Carrington.
Calvin.
Or was it Calvin that said it? Oh shit.
Hmm.
Did Carrington say something?
Maybe I didn't write it down though.
Oh, Calvin. Calvin Carrington. Say, both their personalities together make almost someone interesting. Not quite.
I actually think Calvin, actually, no, you're right. He gives nothing as well.
He'll give when he
At
gives
least he
more than
smiles.
Carrington. He does smile. He has more
At
life.
least he has more facial expressions.
This is true.
I'm
Um,
open to being open to getting to know you.
Thanks, Calvin.
Thanks.
Cely comes in, she's a firefighter.
Hmm.
And she does a split on the pole. She steals
Hmm.
Carrington's hat. She was amazing. I loved her.
Yeah, she did great.
And then Justine teases Caleb and she like goes
Who?
around. She did
They showed
amazing.
Justine the most. She ate.
She did, but they didn't show her on the pole. I had a feeling maybe she did something that wasn't CBS friendly.
Oh, I'm dead. Yeah.
Because she's got moves because she's a go-go dancer.
Hmm.
Uh but she was the last one and they go up. But then there's two new bombshells. The first one is Lakin, 21 from Virginia.
Sounds like Lincoln, but it's Lakin.
Yeah.
She's a party girl and she's fast and fun.
And she's looking for someone to keep up with her. I don't know if Carrington can keep up with anyone, but maybe.
Well, she didn't necessarily mention him, but when she came in and said all this, I was like, I wonder if she'd like Carrington. But the person that she's describing as herself is not someone Carrington likes. Because remember, he's a businessman. He's not trying to be out on the
I
weekends.
noted that
He's not a
too.
party guy.
No,
So
he's
it's
not.
interesting. Just interesting. But that's
It
what Lakin
is.
says.
It is. And then we get Julia, who's 26 from Miami, and she gets a lot of compliments on her butt. And she says
Yeah.
she's looking for a
Even,
man.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go.
I was just gonna say Justine from the balcony like was like she has a nice butt. And I was like, aren't y'all kind of far away? Like, how do you even
She
see?
can see it from there. Good for her.
Yeah.
Um, but she doesn't have a problem stepping on toes, which
Hmm.
is interesting because I don't even think she gets near anyone's toes. these couple of episodes. Um,
Yeah.
but they show up and the girls kind of freak out a little, but then the episode ends and it's like a
Mm-hmm.
cliffhanger, like what's gonna happen?
What will they do?
And so I will say, because this is how, well, this is how Cassie entered last
Oh
season.
yeah. I was like, this is a new way to enter. No, it's not. Yeah, Cassie came in like this.
But it reminded me more of Andrea and Nicole's. I think because it was like
Yeah.
the two and like the dancing.
Yeah.
That was
No, yeah.
that was our first wild entrance, like bombshell entrance we saw on Love Island.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are we watching?
No, it was
I was like, oh
crazy. I
my
was like, this
gosh.
risque. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
well. So that was episode 26. Let's jump to episode 27. Nobody puts Carrington in a committed relationship. Um, but the girls showed up. Calvin is infatuated by Julia's ass. They
Mm-hmm.
double team Bennett, which was shocking, but hey.
Okay.
And so they do their thing. It's kind of light. They do some like twirls, a little bit of like twerking, but
Yeah.
not really, like nothing
Nothing
crazy.
crazy.
And then the girls rejoin the group. And Lakin says she was into Johnny, and Julia says she was into Bennett, but she's open to everyone. And I'm like, interesting that Lakin said that,
Yeah, she said it in the group setting too. I was like, you're bold.
right? And I don't think we ever see her talk to Johnny, like even a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was closed off, or maybe he just was just like, yeah, I'm not interested, and they just didn't show it.
He's like, I've
But yeah,
already rid a Mercedes. I can't do a Lincoln
see, the thing is, I told Cely that I gotta be
Road.
faithful, so I definitely cannot talk to you at all or look at you.
I only know rivers. I don't know what lakes are. So I gotta, what's that? Don't go chasing
Chasing
what? Don't
waterfalls.
go chasing Lakins. Stay close to the Cellies and the rivers
Like
you
that you
used
used
to.
to. Hey.
Just they reveal the heart rates who raised each other's more.
These were all over the place.
They were. Justine's was raised most by Carrington. Moira's was Caleb, which that was shocking to me.
I was shocked by the first two. I mean, like, how did Carrington raise Justine's heart rate?
I don't know. But then Kiersten's was Carrington, which we knew that was going to happen. Laurel's was Calvin's, which maybe because she was laughing. Because
Yeah,
remember
there's so
last
many
season,
factors.
Cordell had a lot because he wasn't even
Yeah.
sexual. He was just funny.
They
So
were all
they like
cracking
laughed.
up.
Yeah.
The results are subjective.
They are, because also when the bombshells are seen as it's like, well, I think a podcast pointed this out during last season. It's like, well, your heart rate's gonna go up when something unexpected is happening. So like
Right.
when a bombshell comes regardless, you're like, oh my gosh, who is this?
Yeah, so it doesn't really count. And then yeah, I mean maybe Carrington did something during his turn and Justine was just like, "Wow, that's crazy," you know.
Yeah. Um, but Sally's was Johnny. And then
I feel
Karen
like he earned it. He did
he
he
d-
picked her up.
he
He put her on
did.
the ground. He
That
did
one
a
made
lot.
sense.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can see that. They reveal the guys, and Carrington's was raised most by Lakin, which again,
Hmm.
she's a new bombshell, but we will see maybe there was more reasons why.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um Bennett's was Julia, Calvin was Cely, Johnny was Cely, and then Caleb was Laurel.
So they were all over the place. I was like, okay, this is good because there's really, since it's all over the place, nobody can be mad about anything and we can move on and pretend it didn't happen.
Right. The guys get together, and Bennett says he's into Kiersten the most, but the two new girls are attractive.
Hmm.
And Kiersten's like, I'm not going to change just because these new girls came in. Like, okay,
That's smart. Oh, you're
right.
right. She keeps it a buck.
She does. Um, but I'm like, what would you do? You don't even like Bennett, but whatever. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Lakin says she's into Carrington because he's so hot, and both her and Julia are into Bennett. They're also kind of into Calvin. And I'm
They
like,
don't know what they like.
they don't. They're just having fun. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Toxic Moira's like, wow, there's two new bombshells. I think I like Calvin.
She's
I
like, I'm
love
gonna
competition.
yeah, I'm gonna step it up a little bit. And it's like, girl, no. No, 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 no. You can't just, because then it's obvious that you're stepping it up.
Which Calvin will clock, but I don't think he
Mm-hmm.
cares. He's like,
No.
I love this. Um, Carrington says he's very attracted to Lakin, but he likes Laurel a lot and doesn't think she can make him change his mind.
Interesting.
Note that, everyone. Um,
Remember that.
yes, everyone's getting ready for bed, and Laurel expresses she's getting insecure. Oh, poor Laurel. She's so sweet. And everyone goes to bed. Moira was kissing on Calvin's neck. I noted that, and I was like, she's kicking it into high gear.
Yeah. She was like, I was like, does Calvin allow you to do that?
Right.
He was like, so the thing about PDA is I don't want any with you.
I don't like it with
I
you.
don't like it, particularly when Moira does it.
And now he's all about it. He's like, all right.
Okay. He was
He's like,
laughing
I've
and
been
stuff.
friend zoned one too many times.
Right.
Uh, it's the next day, and Laurel talks about being shocked that Moira and Calvin were smooching all night. So everyone heard
Mm-hmm.
them. And I'm like, that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
funny. Calvin tells Johnny he's shocked by Moira, but he does clock that it happened as soon as the new girls came in. And that's the last time he really ponders that.
Yeah. He's like, anyway, I'm gonna embrace it because I want to get to
All
the
right.
finale.
Basically. Justine and Caleb chat again. They're now the only couple that really has these random moments of
Yeah.
deepness
Yeah.
that are randomly
Oh,
spread throughout everything.
did production pick their winner?
Um, they could have.
They're like Christy Teigen spoke. They need to win because this is a couple we it's like the only like deep stuff conversations that we see.
Yeah, because even with Cely and Johnny, it was them fighting about what he did at Casa. And now their deep stuff is just like, I just like you a lot.
Yeah. And
And
I'm
it's like,
just so happy that like we're together still. And I
right.
can't wait to see what's gonna happen in the future. They're like, yay, let's kiss. This is the
Right.
same conversation
Uh,
over and over.
but they, Justine and Caleb, she opens up about being the type to fall very quickly. And so she waits for him to initiate certain things. But when he doesn't, she gets a little upset. And he's like, I appreciate your honesty. My girlfriend back home said that same thing. I can work on it.
Brandon.
Uh,
Oh, he said he's gonna work on it. I
he
believe
does.
him.
I do in this moment too. Julie and Calvin chat. They talk about family and wanting someone to complement their lives. And he's like, maybe Moira does have something to worry about.
I
Like, does she?
mean, it was really dry. I didn't see a spark there,
No, it's
nothing.
these same
Nothing.
conversations they have. You have family? Yes. Do you
I
like them?
mean,
Sometimes.
he was sometimes. Do you have a mom? I do. I do have a mom. Do you have a
Mm,
dad? I do have a dad.
that's
It's
so
like
crazy that you would
it's
ask that
very
because
simple.
I do.
I also have a dad. Um,
Me
are
too.
you a human that lives in America? I do live in America. Oh my gosh. I also live in the United States of America. We're so similar.
And that's all the conversation.
No, it's like just dry. But I mean, he was putting on the charm a little bit. Calvin
It
has
was.
charm. The girls just don't like it. I think it's like the good guys finish last kind of thing. Like, they just like, oh, you're so cute.
He
I'll
has
be your
charm, but he doesn't
friend.
have a swag.
I agree with you.
It's kind of just like he gives friend vibes.
Mm-hmm.
At least at first.
Yeah. Like, you're such
But,
a friendly friend.
oh, Calvin, I love your brand of clothing.
Boop. I would boop
Boop.
Calvin. Boop
I go to the
boop.
outlet sometimes. Boop. Lakin and Carrington chat. And he says, I want to get to know you more. And she's like, I'm into festivals. I like to, go to stuff like that. And this is where I noted, I was like, I'm surprised he doesn't shame her. Because
Right.
like that
He's
doesn't
like,
fit with my
festivals.
lifestyle.
I go to
Festivals.
work
That's fun.
so I
That's
could
like
be the best salesman
party
in my
girl. You're a
company.
party girl, party girl. No,
That's
no.
crazy.
I'm in
No.
I'm a business
Yeah.
sales.
I don't
Yeah.
party anymore because like I got stuff to do, you know.
I can't. I have purpose.
Not purpose. He's like,
Uh,
oh yeah, I go partying one time.
right. He's switching up now. I'm like, all right. I guess it depends on who's the party girl. But they do bond over having family members that are autistic.
Mm-hmm.
And he then tells us, though, that he doesn't want to switch like from Laurel to Lakin. And it's like, okay, well, this is just one conversation, so that does make sense. But
Yeah.
thanks for keeping us updated,
Thank you for
Carrington.
letting us know, Carrington, where your
Yes,
head's at.
yes. Then Julia and Carrington chat. They bond about living in Germany at certain points, and he's like, "You give independent vibes." And I'm like,
Which is like, now I'm like thinking about it. Do you mean like, oh, she looks like she doesn't want you?
Loki,
Like,
maybe
are you
so.
Miss Independent? Do you
You
want
seem like you're
to?
really self-assured and you wouldn't depend or vie for my attention, respect, and
Yeah,
approval. I don't
yeah.
think I like you.
I from this conversation, I think I should never speak to you again.
I actually think I'm gonna go jump in the pool and
Have
see
a
you
little
later.
dip. Bye.
She is surprised about how smart he seems. Um,
You know, his smarts have not been shown very much.
but maybe she's picking up on something that we're
Yep,
just not seeing.
right.
Um, Lakin and Bennett randomly chat. He just talks about his tattoos. They never chat again. Um,
Yeah, I guess they both travel. He was like, that
yeah.
was a good chat.
And she's like, totally. Um, Julia gets a text and she has to pick someone to go on a date. And she picks Carrington. And then Lakin gets a text and she also chooses Carrington. And I'm like, y'all are filling up Carrington's head too much. His hair is
You
just gonna get
are.
bigger and bigger.
No, he was like, I'm feeling, I'm not gonna lie, I feel great right now.
It's like, all right, it is what it is. Like,
I'm officially date guy.
mind you, Laurel's like,
On the verge of tears, she's like, fuck, both of them taking him.
are you
He
fucking
like,
kidding me?
I'm dead. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry because I was gonna pick Calvin. I decided to stay with Carrington. And now he's got two, my man left with two girls today.
He tells us, it's hard not to feel like a baller.
Yeah. Oh, Carrington.
I can't. Even Carrington's getting ready and he's like talking to the guys and he's like, has anyone in the show's history gone on as many dates as me? It's season two.
Oh, but have they had UK and all the other ones?
I don't even know if he knows UK exists.
Right. He thought backpacking would be like camping. We don't know. But he's been on six, which is quite a lot, which makes me ponder Brandon. He's dated a lot of people, right? Laurel's the first to kind of out how bad he is, like explicitly. But Kiersten even mentioned it too, like, oh, he doesn't give me much. He's not really affectionate. He's not really this. Then Laurel was like, yeah, he's nice now, but earlier he wasn't nice. Like, but these girls come in and still want to talk to Carrington and still go on dates with Carrington. So either he isn't an asshole, or maybe with first impressions, he's really nice. Maybe that's it. He like woos them at first.
I think they just think he's hot.
That part. It might be.
And he probably gives to to a certain type of person, maybe of the basic ilk. He reads as mysterious.
Oh yeah, like oh the tough guy, the this guy, oh the bad guy.
He doesn't seem
Okay.
into me. I want to go on a date with him.
Yeah. Did
But
you pick Carrington? You know, because that's crazy because I was gonna pick Carrington. I wonder if it's also the most desired effect. Like, oh, the girls want him? Maybe I should see what he's about. So they both take him on a date. He leaves with both girls, one on one arm, one on the other.
Right? He's date guy, you know,
He's date guy.
and he's just like feeling himself. And everyone's like, "Woohoo, yeah!" And he's like, "Oh, you know, it is what it is."
They're like, date guy. And Laurel's like, oh my God. So how long is the date? I'm gonna go talk to the producers. So when does he
I
come back?
fucking hate this.
He's gonna be gone all day? Damn. I'm gonna go take a nap. Like Johnny, what did you do to cope when Cely was on her date?
I took a nap and then I eavesdropped, but he's not in here, so you can't.
He gets to leave the villa and go on these dates. It's crazy.
He does, and his one with Julia's first, and they have like a nice view of the mountains. I was like, this is cute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, she repeats how like he surprised her, blah blah blah. He asks what would be surprising about her, and she says the fact that she's into the fantasy genre. And he's like, oh God.
You know what? I wasn't even listening. I think I stopped listening after he was like, so why did you pick me? And she's like, I like that you're confident and blah blah. And then it was like, and then it was very short anyway, because Lakin interrupts them.
Like, pardon my stream, I'm here. And I want my date. And he's like, okay, bet. And so he goes across the balcony to her and he says he figured she would take him on a date and he was most excited about that and that his heart rate went up for a reason.
Hmm.
And it cuts to Laurel talking to Calvin. And she says she wasn't okay after talking to Lakin because before the date, Lakin revealed to the girls how they bonded about
Hmm.
their family. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? He's telling her things that he hasn't even told me yet about family, and they just met, and we've been together 2 weeks. Mm.
What do you think about that?
Oh, that's like so fucked up. I would be so angry,
Really?
but also like it's a sign he doesn't like you.
I didn't even think about it like that. So,
Because you know she asked. Because think of it too in the context of she knew he didn't even know anything about her when they were asking questions.
I didn't even think about that part.
So it's just like so much.
He didn't know her eye color. He didn't know her how many siblings she had. Uh, it's that one's tricky. I thought that this was something. I thought I saw it differently. So I was like, because Lakin brought up that her brother has autism, and then Carrington opened up that his nephew has autism. And some people are like, I mean, handle conversations about disabilities a little differently. Like some people are like talking about it often because it's part of their regular life. Others maybe don't bring it up as much because it's kind of a sensitive subject.
Hmm.
And so I thought maybe since he's already such a closed off person, he's definitely not going to reveal out of his own volition that his family member has a disability. But I think because she brought it up first, and he's probably putting in overtime to put the charm on, that's why he mentioned it.
I see that. I can see why he mentioned it to Lakin. I think it just speaks to how her, Laurel, and him don't have depth to their relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And that's what she's most upset about, but isn't willing to admit to herself.
yes, I think that's really what it's not that he didn't tell her, it's that like what this girl knows you more than Loki I do, and I just started getting I you just met her. So
Hmm.
I get why she's mad, but I was like, that's a little more sensitive. It's not like you just found out he has a dad. You just found
That's
out his
true.
nephew has autism.
Yeah,
And it's a nephew, it's not a sibling. So it's a little more distant.
that's true.
Unless the nephew, I mean, but he says something later, and I'm like, okay, maybe it is more serious. So I don't know. But at first, I wasn't surprised by this.
Yeah. Carrington, we cut back to the date, and Carrington says it meant a lot, them bonding about family, and it provided him reassurance.
Mm-hmm.
And Lakin brings up long distance, and he says he would move somewhere for someone if he liked the place. And
Yeah.
she was like, "So you're not moving to Alabama?" And he's like,
Mhm.
"Probably not."
He's like, it need to be a bigger city.
Yeah, I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah,
calm
and when he
down."
talks about the family thing, he's like he like felt a connection to her because it's a lot thinking about how you might have to like end up caring for someone with
Yeah.
disabilities. And she says she's thought about that with her brother a lot. And I'm like, you've had that thought about your nephew?
Yeah, I
A
guess. I
lot, I feel
mean,
like a lot of people have to like a lot of bad things have to happen for you to get custody of your nephew, unless that's like his godson or something, or he only has
yeah.
one sibling. But I think she said he has two sisters, right?
Yeah. Maybe he's really close to his nephew. We don't really know anything about him, so
Yeah.
this is the first we're hearing that he even has a nephew.
Right. And so now I'm like, okay, you've got to the point where you've thought about having to take care of your nephew full time. So maybe this is a bigger deal that you probably should have mentioned to Laurel.
Yeah.
You know, like you're close enough to your nephew that that's a thought.
Mm-hmm. But
Anyway,
him and Laurel aren't deep.
nope.
And what is this? So Carrington says he's happy with Laurel, but his talk with Lakin made him feel differently. And he wants to get
Mm-hmm.
to know her more.
Mm-hmm.
And Laurel does worry, because in past relationships, it cuts back to her and she's like, past relationships, there's always been cheating and somebody else. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
always worried that somebody will come in and take him away. But if he finds a better connection, I'm happy for him. I'm like, hmm.
Laurel spent a lot of that day crying. I mean, I feel for her. It sucks. It's not a good feeling. But he was kind of on the receiving end of it. I mean, this is Love Island. You just gotta wait it out and see.
This is true. It's a
But
Love Island's a roller coaster.
and Carrington's not a guy who gives you a lot of reassurance. So her reasons for worrying are a little stronger
No, he
here.
provides, some would say, no reassurance. You never quite know.
You never quite know because he doesn't quite know.
There you go. um, Cely tells the girl she feels really good with Johnny, and he always reassures her. I'm sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Laurel says she has mixed emotions because she feels secure, but will be really hurt if he decides to pursue someone else.
Yeah.
Um, this is where Johnny pulls Cely and Caleb, no, Justine and Caleb aside to talk
Mm-hmm.
about Cely. And he's like, tonight, I'm gonna ask Cely to be official. And he wants to do this whole thing where she's like going to different locations where she can reminisce about memories
Mm-hmm.
before he asks her officially to be his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. And this is where the narrator goes on a roll and he starts roasting Johnny, and it's really
Oh yeah, he
funny.
comments about like his short shorts. He was
Yeah, he's
wearing
like
short, like
extremely
someone we
short
know.
shorts. Who?
Maybe
Oh my gosh!
I don't want to say their
Exactly
name.
like the person we know. Exactly like the person we know.
Uh,
No, he's like, Johnny is planning this thing for Cely just as much as he might be planning a tinier pair of shorts. And then they all get together. He has the guys in the dressing room and he's continuing to plan. And he's like, you guys are going to do this. You guys are going to do that. And he's like, Captain Long, Captain Long John Tiny Shorts
oh yeah,
commands the troops. Commands the troops and explains the date. And he's really standing there. He's like, all right, dude, so you and you are going to do this. Everybody's going to wear white and black. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to do this. And I'm like, this is so, of all the things that Johnny does, I actually really like this because he could just sit down and ask her to be his girlfriend, but he's like taking the time to do something like really elaborate and stuff, which I actually like kind of appreciate because you didn't have to do all that. We've
yeah.
seen worse proposals.
It's quite the spectacle and declaration of love that could maybe foreshadow a hiccup in Casa Amor in the aftermath of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know how those who usually mess up the most try to do the most to
Fix
make
it.
up for it, hence
Yeah.
Aaron making pasta for Kaylor. Notice how
Yeah.
Cordell didn't have to do anything like that because he just owned both his
Anyone?
actions and genuineness.
And he
Um,
won.
and he
Cornell didn't do
won.
no grand gestures. You're right. And this could also be a scheme to just win, which I often forget about with this show because they very rarely mention that this is a competition.
They do, but you know it's always in the back of Johnny's mind.
Yeah, definitely.
But everyone returns from their dates, and Laurel says she would go home if Carrington finds a connection with someone else.
I know that's right.
I
She's
mean,
like, I'm out
period.
of here.
She's like, but
I'm
I'm trying to be
done.
optimistic. And I'm like,
She already has her exit plan, exit strategy.
she's like, I
I'm
have an escape
optimistic.
route, I have a plan, but I am trying to be optimistic.
So funny.
But Julia and Lakin chat. Julia says she got a friend vibe, and Lakin says they had a really good connection.
Hmm.
And then this is where I'm like, Carrington's such a fucking prick. He like talks to the guys. He's like, the date's night and day. Julia's nice and all, whatever, but I'm into Lakin. I'm like, could you just say they were nice dates, but you just like connected more with Lakin? Like, why do you have to be like night and day? Like these bitches,
Yeah.
like, you know, man.
Yeah.
Ha.
She couldn't be further. Lakin is like a different breed of woman.
Let's just say I got my swim trunks on. I'm ready to dive in. Julia, she's too independent. She likes
Too independent.
fantasy.
She doesn't want me enough.
Does my name sound like like a fantasy novel? Maybe, but I'm not into that genre. I don't even read. I'm too busy making sales.
I got shit to do, but I will go to a festival and headbang with her.
Period. Lakin does feel bad though because Laurel's so sweet, and she pulls Laurel for a chat, and she lets her know she's into Carrington, and Laurel's like, "Yeah, of course, that's so okay with me."
I don't really see why Lakin feels like she has to do this, but I guess it's a nice gesture. She's like, I'm sorry if this hurts you, but I'm about
Yeah,
to steal your man, essentially.
basically. I get it in the sense of it's just like I want to be transparent. Like maybe I just don't want it to feel sneaky.
But aren't you jumping the gun a little bit? Like he also has a choice. This is kind of what the guys do when they're like, "Oh yeah, she's definitely gonna be with me," and it's like you don't even have confirmation yet.
That's true. It's just maybe she's like, who
I
knows
don't
what
like it.
Carrington's gonna tell her. So let me be honest. We like each other.
Yeah,
But I
that's
don't know.
true. Hey, so I've seen a lot of guys will say one thing, do something else. So I'm just gonna let you know he likes me. He said I'm really pretty.
Hmm. But Laurel and Carrington do chat, and he says he told both Julie and Lakin that he's with Laurel and it would take a lot to turn his head. And he says Lakin has an interest in him, and there's not much to say other than that. And I'm like, see, this is why Lakin had to tell her because he's not going to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah. And I don't remember him saying anything about Laurel on those dates. Maybe he did. I don't remember it.
I don't recall either. Maybe to Julia. I don't know if she was brought up to Lakin, but maybe.
Yeah. And then he was like, I can't help how I feel. I am interested in her. And
Yeah.
then he was like, I just don't know. In his confessional, he's like, I don't know how it's possible to feel like this. And I'm like, what do you
What? He's like, I'm
anyway?
feeling emotions. What is
I
this?
feel like I like her a lot, like more than normal, like more than Laurel.
It's like, okay. But Laurel does bring up the story of Lakin knowing more about the family than she did. And he's like,
Hmm.
I just didn't think it mattered to you or mattered with you.
I thought he just said I didn't think those things mattered.
Yeah, it's something, and it's just like, okay. I mean, they kind of do if you're getting to know someone, like potentially dating, like just random things about the family, but
Especially since you've contemplated caring for your nephew full time. I don't fucking know, man. He's an
right.
enigma. He's a mystery to me.
He is, but he does say Laurel changed him for the better, and he asks if it's okay for him to sleep on it. And to which I say, "Oh, but should she confront you in bed like you did to her about Calvin?"
Right. Should she like corner you right when you're about to go to sleep and be like, so do you like him? You could have just told me. He like turned his back to her like he's five and was like, if you
Hmm.
liked him, you should have just told me you liked Calvin. Like was being so passive aggressive. Not you giving your bag to me, you grown ass man. Sit up and have a conversation. You're just gonna leave it at that. Anyway.
Mm. She's like, fine.
I mean,
Um,
in his defense, she was like teetering with the idea for a little bit before she told him, but
she was, but like she didn't even do anything with Calvin, you know?
no,
It was
no,
literally
they didn't
just
go on a
like,
whole date.
maybe we'll talk.
Yeah.
And then that was it. And he's
And
like,
then when she
what?
spoke to Calvin, she just complained about Carrington.
Right.
So Carrington doesn't really give me attention. And he was like really mean at first, but he's nice now. And I'm not really sure. And Calvin's like, so do you like me?
But what about me?
Anyway, forget all that, those things.
Enough about Carrington. Um, everyone's getting ready for the night and like for the
um,
surprise with Cely.
mhm.
And it's funny, Cely can't figure out what to wear. Caleb, Caleb always just like bringing the mood down. He's like the what's that SNL skit? Um, is it Negative Nancy or is it something else?
Oh, yeah, I think it is Negative
Where
Nancy.
she's just like they're at Disney World. And she's just like, you know, felines often die from disease. Womp womp. Just like bringing the vibe down. And Caleb just goes,
Yeah.
Johnny, what if she says no?
And he looks so serious. I thought he was joking, but he's like, what if she says no? And
And
it's like,
Johnny's like,
uh,
she won't. But Sully can't figure out what to wear. Justine hypes her up. Love their friendship. And this is where I felt disrespected because as this is happening and they're getting ready for it, they're playing Sweet Creature by Harry Styles, which is one of
mhm.
the most pure songs ever. And I'm like, how dare you pair this song with Johnny? I understand with Sally, but
Yeah,
not Johnny. He does
not
not
Johnny.
deserve this Harry Styles song. Hmm.
No, Love Island is like, wait, this is like a cinematic moment. We need to do it up. Pull out all the stops.
They
Call
should
Harry. Get him on the phone.
get Harry.
Can we do a
Um,
cover of your song?
right. And then the episode ends where Justine drops Sally off at her first stop with Calvin.
It's so funny because she's like, Sally, and they were talking about the outfit, and Sally's like, you told me to change. I don't understand. And then she's like, you, why is Calvin standing there? Like,
What are we gonna talk to Calvin about?
you're gonna chat to Calvin. She's like, hi, Calvin, let's chat. And she's like, but when she said, why is he standing there like that? I was like, yeah, Calvin, you could have sat or just like whatever. But it was a
Yeah,
very long walk to Calvin standing like straight up at attention, ready for his duties.
I can't. They're too much. So then we get to episode 28, the final episode we will be discussing an indecent proposal. Um, Johnny has these men reading poems he wrote, so they're not good.
Not bad, but they're just mid. It's like two lines of rhyming, and it's like, all right, so go to the next location.
Right.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I like you. Now go to the balcony.
Now go here. It's like, okay. Oh my gosh, Aaron also wrote Kaylor a poem.
A poem. See, it's the poetry.
It's the poetry.
That might be a new fuckboy red flag.
It might be. I write
Do
haikus sometimes. Am I a fuckboy?
you? No, you don't. No, you
I do.
don't.
I wrote one as a I wrote one as a joke for work, and now my boss always asks me to like write some, whether it's about something at work or something else.
Brandon, now you have to share. What? Isn't the
They
haiku where it has to rhyme like a certain amount of times?
know the easy part about haikus is it doesn't have to rhyme at all. It's just 5 7 5, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
Oh, okay. What was your one for work?
It was like, let me see.
Not your boss requests them. Where do you put them? Like she puts them in emails or something?
I sent it in like the chat or something. Microsoft
Did
Teams.
you label it as a haiku or did they just peep that it was a haiku?
I think I just said it was a haiku. Let
This
me see.
is so funny. Not Brendan writing haikus.
Let
That's
me
so
see.
random. Oh, next time you play Two Truths and a Lie, you need to include that one.
I there was
What's a
one.
fun fact about you? I write accounting haikus.
Well, this one was a random one because I was like on the call with my boss and my boss's boss, and my boss's boss wanted me to write one about a cat. And
Hmm.
I it was titled Once Upon a Meow, and
I'm
it's
dead.
so misunderstood, yet so full of love, kind of. Meow, leave me be.
So deep and shallow at the same time. I love it.
Thank you,
Wow,
thank you.
Brandon. We didn't know we had the Lord is a poet.
He doesn't just write scripture. He writes poems.
Not scripture. I'm dead. That's so cool.
uh it's funny. But
Look at you.
back to our other poet, Johnny.
Hmm.
But Calvin reads a poem where he has to go where Cely and Johnny first kissed, and he also has a pair of her underwear as a token.
Which is insane to me.
That's crazy. That's crazy, Janae. Bennett has to reread the poem because she doesn't get it at first.
She's like, so where do I go?
And he's like, let me reread it. Where you did his nails. And she's like, got it. um, then it's Carrington, and he's trying to be funny. He's like, he's got a little quip to him.
Mhm.
Um, and he directs her to the lounge chairs. She ends up back at Calvin. And I'm like, this is where I'm like, this is stupid. Like, none of this, like, this is dumb. There's no purpose to this. It's just
And
randomly
in
like going to random spots. She's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was so that Johnny could slowly make his way out because he was hiding in the kitchen and then she went inside. And then when she came out, he was hiding behind something else. And I guess when her back turned, she would face him. I don't know. All I know is Calvin's really good at this. Calvin is like great at this.
In what
It
way?
sounds it just sounds really genuine. Like, Cely, Johnny wants you to know how much he loves you. And like just from hearing it from Calvin, it just sounds like legit. And like Calvin seems like he's like rehearsed a lot and it's just but like he knows what to say, but it comes off naturally. Like he's just really good at doing all of this. I was like, you should be like a moderator or something.
Yeah. Okay. I had to
He
think
just
about that one.
like
I'm
all
like,
the other guys look stupid, but Calvin is like just very natural, like Cely.
he did seem
Johnny wants you to
earnest.
know. Yes, Ernest. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We can leave it at that. That's it. Calvin is Ernest.
uh, she goes upstairs to Caleb. He has an hourglass prop.
Where the fuck did they get this stuff?
It was probably some random decor that was around.
And then it was a half a cup, like a vase or something with a face on it.
I guess. I forget.
It he was like this token, and it's like this. This is a prop. This is a Love Island blot. These materials. He's like this hourglass signifies time that we had together, and it's like she doesn't get to keep these things.
No, she doesn't. But she finally ends up with Johnny and his white roses, and he reads her a Dr. Seuss ass poem. And this is where I write, I'm only tolerating this because Cely's involved. And after a bunch of lip service, he finally asks her to be his girlfriend. And she says
Mm-hmm.
yes, and they tell each other, I love you.
Mm-hmm. He says it first. They love each other, and she is now with him officially. But we know it doesn't last, so it's okay. All ends well for
Y-
Cely.
Yeah, I I'm this is where I get to the point of the show where I'm exhausted by some of these couples. Um, but everyone celebrates, and Sally tells us it's been her goal to get Johnny to fall in love with her, and she finally did
Oh,
it. And I'm
that's
like,
true. It was at first.
it was. And I'm like, Sally,
Mm-hmm.
you deserve better. But you know, at least you got your goal.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like love is in the air. This is amazing. Her and Caleb chat. She's like, "You look fine in that black and white fit." And this is where she opens up more to Caleb about how she's had moments of self-sabotage with them to guard her heart, and she feels it's too good to be true, but she wants to let go of that
Mm.
fear. And he's like, "I appreciate that. And I could feel you holding back." And I wonder how his girlfriend back home feels.
That might be her intuition that she's just not listening to.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, something's telling you no. And then this is Caleb also says he wants to get to where Johnny and Cely's level is at. And I'm like, no, Johnny is not the aspiration. That's
Mm-mm.
not what you should be wanting. Um, but Carrington and Lake in chat, and he says he didn't expect his head to be turned this fast, and it's questioning how good what he has with Laurel is. I'm like, I
That's
hate you.
insane.
It really is. It's like you just were saying, oh, I'm not sure. And now it's like, no, I just don't even know if me and Laurel had anything good.
That's crazy for you to question your whole reality. So either Lakin is just amazing, or it's just the mist of just meeting somebody for the first time, and then like,
Yeah,
he doesn't think very level-headedly about all this stuff. He's like, this girl is just so different from every other girl. Give her a couple weeks. She's gonna seem very similar.
right. Give her one conversation where she's not saying how much she likes you.
Right.
Um, but she loves it and she's like, take your time figuring it out. And this is where I'm like, I don't see a connection between these two.
It's
Like,
hard to tell because Carrington doesn't give much. I mean, Lakin is open. She's talking about her family. She's talking about her like life, I guess. But other than that, we don't really see a whole lot other than they're just like, I like getting to know you. I like getting to know you, you know?
yeah, it's just that generic speak that means
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Um, but who knows? Maybe it will evolve. But Sally tells a girl she appreciates them, all making it special. Kiersten tells Caleb she's tied up on a boy that doesn't want her, and is like, Bennett's great, but Carrington ruined everything. Like, damn.
I
Um,
mean, it's like what you said before. Like, she was just so happy with him, and now it's like it's not authentic to just move to somebody else. And honestly, I appreciate Kiersten even more because she is just being very true to herself. She could just play the field and do whatever and talk to whoever, but it just isn't natural for her.
right. Um, Sally tells Carrington she sees him as more compatible with Lakin, but then Carrington, when he's in bed, kisses Laurel. And I'm like, that's interesting considering you were just questioning the authenticity of the relationship to the new girl you like.
I actually, yeah, it's his actions are confusing. I think he's torn because I think he thought he really did like Laurel.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird because he wasn't even that great to her. I
Yeah,
mean, he tried a little bit, but
for a
doesn't
minute.
know what her freaking eye color. That's crazy.
That is. I'm like, of all things, you don't even know that. But everyone goes to bed. And then the next day, Carrington says he woke up realizing he wants to get to know Lakin. To which I say, didn't you already know that?
Yeah, I
You've
think
said
he
that
told her
like
that
eight
twice.
times. But he says he can't help that he opened up to her quicker in 24 hours than anyone else.
Well,
Good for you, Carrington. But Caleb gets a text and it's a challenge. And then we go to the Men at Work challenge. And this one, the men are dressed up as construction workers. They have to climb the ladder, take off their shorts, and reveal they're in Speedos and do the WAP. They then slide down the pole. They go through a wrecking ball, through a brick wall. They piggyback a girl through wet cement, pour water on themselves, and then make out with the girl.
there's a lot.
It was. And during the demonstration, it's Calvin. He picked Moira. Yeah. Kate,
Woo!
woo. Caleb's next. He picks Justine. It was fun. But then Carrington's next. And he picks Lakin.
Lakin.
And he can't even pick her up, which I find so funny because he spends the most time working out. He has the biggest shoulders that are popcorn muscles. Pop, 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 popcorn muscles, bitch.
I've never heard that before. Popcorn muscles? That's
Ooh,
funny.
Laurel feels like this is a slap in the face, and not the first time he made her feel like a second option. And I'm like, you should
Oh
feel
my
like it's a slap in the
gosh.
face because this is like the rudest shit ever. He just said, oh, he wants to get to know her, or like he kind of likes her, like kind of loosely, and then embarrasses you in front of everyone and picks
And
you
Pixar.
and leave it to Caleb to be like, it doesn't count. It's a challenge. No, bitch, it does
It
count
counts.
because he likes her. If he didn't like her and everyone was picking somebody else, then sure. But
Yeah. Like you can
mm,
speak to her outside of the challenge. You don't necessarily have to pick her and be all involved in this way.
right.
I would take it personally, and her feelings are valid.
Yeah. And Sally's telling Lakin, you have some Carrington on your face.
Wow,
I'm like, ooh,
Sally.
Sally, messy Sally. I love it though. Johnny's next. Of course, he takes it too seriously. He picks Sally. But then Bennett's next, and he decides to have a little fun and puts clamps on his nipples. And I was like, okay, Bennett. And then he goes and picks Laurel. And I'm like, honestly, I like this move. Make Laurel feel
Right.
special, kind of be a little messy. I'm here for it.
So Julia's just left out.
I forgot she was even there. But big booty
No one
Julia.
for Julia.
And none for Gretchen
Wait, did
Wieners.
Kiersten go?
No one picked her, but we'll get into that because the girls have to pick a winner. They pick Bennett. After the game, the guy's talking. Carrington's like, why'd you pick Laurel? And he's like, it was in the moment. And honestly, I wanted to wake Kiersten up because she hasn't made many steps since the recoupling. And it works quite the opposite because we cut to Kiersten and she's like, honestly, when he didn't pick me, it was such a moment of clarity because I realized I was fucking relieved because I did not want him to pick me. And I'm like,
Isn't
I
that some
love
shit?
you.
Oh my gosh,
That's the
Kiersten.
funniest shit, especially because he's like, I wanted to make her jealous. And she's like, I was thanking Jesus that he did not pick me.
It's another moment where it's like, oh my God, Calvin's like, I think we're better off as I was thinking the same. He doesn't get to finish his statement. I
Yes.
was thinking the same thing. We're better off as friends. Yes, friend. The word friend just is so appropriate. So she's probably gonna go and talk to him and be like, oh, so since you didn't pick me in the challenge, are you thinking we should be friends? Like hoping to get another job. That was Calvin that she ended up friend zoning, right? Or who was it?
I think it was Calvin. She's like, yeah, so we're
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Right.
He
We're
was like,
friends.
he said it first, and she's like, I agree.
Absolutely. Um, Carrington says his kiss felt really good with Lakin. And he's like, I'll still be with Laurel, but get to know Lakin. And this is where it's like, okay, but you also have to see if they're okay with that. You can't just like
Right.
speak in absolutes like this. And he says she wanted to do it with Calvin at one point, so he has every right. Mind you, she did absolutely nothing with Calvin. They didn't
Yeah. I mean,
kiss.
she
They
like,
didn't go on a date. They talked
mm-mm.
once, and she was like, "We did get deep."
Yeah. She didn't kiss him in a challenge. She didn't do all of this stuff.
And it's funny because when that did happen, like we said, Carrington got upset.
Yeah.
So let's see if Carrington remembers that part of everything as we
Right.
progress.
He
Um,
always uses like the girl's behavior to do like twice as much. Like you went on a date, Kiersten. I get to explore. I get to explore. I get to explore. And it's like, all right, okay, explore then. But like,
right. It's like
what?
she went on it's not like she got picked for a date. It was not like she
Right.
like volunteered.
Right.
Oh, he's so stupid. But Laurel's fed up and she's sick of being a second choice. And she says she's not going to back down from how she feels and won't let him walk all over her. I'm
I
like,
know that's right,
yes,
girl.
period.
But unfortunately, in this situation, this is a man who walks. He'll be like, oh, bet Lakin is here.
I gotta go,
I
actually.
gotta
That's
go.
that's so
Oh, you're
funny.
upset? You need
I
something?
don't
Hmm.
like emotion.
The
So you
thing is,
gotta
when you
go.
show your emotions, it makes me want to like throw up and like leave and never speak to you again. I'm kind of feeling like doing that now.
But it's just so much effort that I don't have that much to give. So I think I'm just gonna stay here, but give you nothing until you want to leave.
Right.
Yeah. Calvin and Moira chat. He says he picked her because it meant when he meant it when he said he was interested. And she says she gets the same butterflies she got when they started, and she feels like they know each other better and there's more comfort. I'm like, okay,
Interesting.
I guess. They look like they have something. So I'm like, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I thought they were good at first. It's just all this back and forth. I don't think
Yeah.
there's any sparks, and they're both looking for it.
Mm-hmm. Laurel and Carrington chat. And she's like, I don't feel fucking good at all. I'm annoyed. You never confirmed whether you wanted to get to know her more, and then you blindsided me in this challenge. And I don't understand how you could be interested in a new girl and then immediately into Lakin. Like you said, you wouldn't be interested in a new girl, and then Lakin comes, and you're all into fucking Lakin. Like, what the hell is this? And he's like, you did the same with Calvin. And I want to get into Lakin. And she says it's hard for her to hear it. And they're just going back and forth. And she's like, it
Hmm.
was different with Calvin, da da da. And then he just keeps trying to talk, and he's just like, I just can't, I want to get to know Lakin, da da da. She's like, okay, Carrington, okay, okay. He's like, it's not okay, actually, because I'm not done talking. She's like, I don't care. Okay, okay.
She gets a little fresh with him.
And then he stands up, but then he walks away because he gets annoyed. And I will say, she was being annoying, but because
Yeah,
it
that
was
is
with
weird.
Carrington, I didn't care. And I was like, keep doing that.
Yeah, like you gotta let the boy talk. Like
Yeah, but
that's kind
he's
of
just
annoying
so
to
full
just
of
like
shit. Like he's
he
just like,
is.
and I don't know if she knows that though. I think she's
Yeah.
just doing it because she's being
No,
a little
she clocks
bratty.
it because he's like,
Wow, you
you did
sound
the
really
same.
bratty. The
I
TikTok
think she
sound with
clocks it.
Abby from Dance Mom. Have you heard that?
Oh, I don't recognize that quote. Who's bratty?
I think she's
They
talking about
got Dance Moves was crazy.
it was. She was talking maybe about JoJo Siwa. I don't know, but they did an edit where it was like, "You sound really bratty," and then it cuts to a Charlie XCX song because brat.
I'm
Uh,
gonna have to find the clip. But yeah, I mean, she's trying to point out things and he's not really listening. It's like
hmm
Laurel at this point when he says it's you say it's the same, he says it's not. Explain why it's not the same. Or you say it's not the same. Explain why it's not the same as you and Calvin. Like you have some reasons. You didn't pick Calvin in a challenge. You didn't start kissing Calvin and making out with him behind like without,
Yeah,
at all, actually, ever. you
right.
know?
I don't know. They just both don't know how to communicate. A lot of
Mm-mm.
immaturity. But she's crying, and Kiersten goes, "Oh my God, girl, what's wrong? Is it Carrington? What'd he do?
She's like, I've been here.
I've been here before. I think I've seen this film before." And she's like, I feel like I'm not good enough. And the combo just didn't go good. And she's like, I'm getting deja vu. And I'm like, she's like, well, you should leave Carrington. Should we kill Carrington?
I'm
Is that what you're
dead.
saying?
You get deja vu often, Kiersten, because you said that about Mackenzie.
Right. Carrington tells Calvin he's so annoyed that she wouldn't let him talk. And I'm like, well, you deserve it. But everyone's getting ready for the night, and Laurel tells Cely about her chat. It's nighttime, and Kiersten and Bennett chat. And he says he came in headstrong to come after her, and he feels they've been at a standstill. And he says he didn't pick her in the challenge to light a fire with her and make her jealous. And she goes, you thought that was a good idea. Why? I was
Kiersten
like,
is such a boss.
wait. And he
Wow.
says, because you haven't shown any sort of attraction towards me. And she's like, it's been slow because I wasn't sure, but today gave me clarity because I was fucking relieved when you didn't pick me. She didn't say fucking relieved, but she might as well have.
Right.
Um, and he's just like, I don't think she took my explanation well. Like she
You
didn't.
fumbled you fumbled the bag, Bennett. And then you said you wanted to make her jealous, which is low-key toxic.
It
So it's
is.
like, oh, you want to make me jealous? Well, the funny thing is, I don't give a
She's
fuck.
like, at first it was just I didn't like you, but now I don't respect you. Get the fuck out of my face. I have those nipple clamps and I leave a bruised bitch.
I'm dead. Oh man, you're right. Kirsten's such a boss. I retract all of the things I thought about her earlier.
Period.
See, the thing
Uh,
about minds is they can change. My mind has changed.
this is true. Kayla brings Justine a s'mores platter and they take it by the fire pit and they talk about how s'mores are nostalgic for them and reminds them of their family. Another
Mm-hmm.
cute moment.
Super cute.
And Justine's like, I continue to be surprised by him. And I'm like, wait till you find out he has a girlfriend. That's gonna be the ultimate surprise.
I wonder how if this is true, I wonder how she finds out. I also wonder, like, did she do an interview? Like, what were we doing in 2020? I know there were a lot of Zoom interviews. Like, I wonder how all of this comes to light if it's true.
Right. Caleb says picking Justine was the best decision of his life, and she jokes about wanting 17 kids. It's actually a cute moment. But Carrington pulls Lake in for a chat, and he keeps saying how he never had it happen where he's matched up and someone comes in and blows him away. And I'm
I
like,
think it's happened.
it happened with Casa,
It
but
happened
even
with,
then, you
yeah.
haven't liked anyone but Laurel. So what are we like? You liked Kiersten, but like before Casa, even he like friend zoned her.
Yeah, no, I mean, at first he was like, Kirsten's amazing, and I like her better than Catherine. And then it was Laurel and Mercedes. They're both so interesting. Like he's just done this a
Who
lot.
is
He's done this a
Catherine?
lot. The first girl,
Caitlin.
oh, Caitlin.
uh, he
Because was
says
she a bombshell?
no. She was they were paired first, but she was an
They were paired
OG.
first. And then Kiersten came
He
in,
like
took
was the
him.
last one, and they just ended up together, and that's when he like dabbed
Yes,
all the guys up,
I
and
remember this.
before he said hello to her. Um, he says there wasn't a spark at first with Laurel. I'm like, you suck. And Laurel's just crying at Justine and Cely. She's like, I felt something real, and I'm wondering what I don't have that Lakin does. And Justine's like,
uh,
girl, it's 100% Carrington. Trust me.
yes, girl, he ain't shit.
hmm And Laurel's just like, I just wish at this point that he never brought me back from Casa more. And I'm like, poor
Poor
Laurel.
girl. It sucks when, you know, I was thinking about this when somebody did something. I was thinking about this when Laurel got upset about Carrington telling Lakin stuff about his family that he hasn't told her. There's a book called The Four Agreements. I haven't read it, but it's just it's just about us. It's kind of silly. I'm like, there's a book. I know it exists. I didn't read it, but there's
No
four
idea what's
agreements.
in the content, but that's fine. I recommend.
It's called The Four Agreements, and I know what the four agreements are. I know at least two of them. Let me look up the others. But it's like always like try your best. Um
I
fuck.
want you to stay. I love how Maggie introduces this topic and doesn't know it at all. You're so
It's
funny.
like it's like okay, yes. Fundamental things for like having relationships with people. And it was like be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions and always do your best, right? And I really when I was watching Laurel, I was like this is why you don't take things personally and you don't make assumptions. Because girl, you're amazing one. Laurel, we make fun of your accent and stuff because it's fun, but like I actually think she's a really cool girl. She's
No, she's
smart.
very nice, very pretty.
We don't know what her business is, but she has one, which is
Oh yeah,
amazing.
she does. What is
Brandon's
it?
like,
We
what's
still
your
haven't heard.
business?
What's your business? That would be my
What's your
first question.
business, Laurel? We want to
Laurel,
know.
come
You
on the
sell
pod.
something?
We're willing to interview, and I
Oh
just
my
want to know
gosh.
what your business is.
We will.
We would love to interview you.
She's
That'd
not
actually
gonna
probably be
come
a
on.
good interview.
She's not gonna come on at all.
Laurel,
But
please.
anyway, Laurel. You're like an awesome person, but it's just like you can't make assumptions and you can't like take things personally. Like I really feel like Carrington's reason for telling homegirl about himself is like light years. There's so many reasons. There's like people do shit all the time. Like you can't take things personally.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you made this choice, but like it could be because of your past or it could be because of a spur of a moment. Like there's so many reasons why we do what we do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't make assumptions. You can't take things personally. Like I'm really trying to embrace that because I take everything personal. Like, dang, you didn't say hi to me. You must hate me. And it's like, girl, what are you even talking about? They may just
I do that too.
they may grow up just not having said. Some people have no fucking manners, Brandon. I
This is
don't get
true.
it. I don't get it.
Can't
So when people
relate.
do stuff, I'm like, right. I was raised where you had to say hi to everybody when you saw them. So just little things like that. But I feel for her. It's hard not to say like, oh, what do I not have? But it's just like it's just not your person. It's not what you don't have or whatever. It's just this guy is just not your guy, you know? And you
Yeah.
probably should have picked Calvin.
Maybe. But we're gonna see what's gonna happen because next time it's a recoupling.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it's probably Guy's choice.
Definitely.
So, but
Um,
unfortunately, our next episode, we're taking
yes.
a little break from the hotel
Mm-hmm.
villa and we're
Mm-hmm.
taking a trip to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Utah, where the Mormons are.
Yep, and we're going to be discussing the first episode of Some Mormon Wives. Dipping our
Mm-hmm.
toe in, seeing how it is, seeing if y'all like it, if we like it, you know. It should be fun. I'm excited.
Me too. I've watched a couple minutes of the first episode and it was definitely like they suck you in pretty quick.
We were
They're
like,
like,
give us
this is what
something.
happened. They're like, we were on social media and then we were having orgies. And it's like, what the fuck? And she's like, and we're Mormon. And it's like, wait, what? We don't drink coffee, but we drink Coke. Excuse
Oh yeah, they
me?
have like soda shops. That's gonna be
Yes.
wild.
But they're not supposed to have caffeine. I'm like, so you're just saying you're Mormon, but you're not Mormon. I
Maybe,
mean, I guess you are Mormon, but
yeah.
you're not
I don't know.
practicing.
This is gonna be interesting, so I'm excited for that.
I am too. It should
Um,
be interesting.
but in the meantime, that's it for today's episode, y'all. It's been real. It's been fun. Thank y'all so much for listening and for
Thank
watching.
you.
If you're on the YouTube,
Yes.
make sure to rate and review us. Give us 5 stars. Leave us an Apple
Mm-hmm.
Podcast review. We love seeing those.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to see our beautiful faces instead of just simply listening to our beautiful voices, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Shade of It All Podcast.
Yes.
Also, you can follow us on TikTok at the Shade of It All Podcast or Instagram at the Shade of It All Pod. And we'll talk to you
Mm-hmm.
next time. Bye.
Bye.